What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Project Manga podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, The Promised Neverland, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen, week to week. Back this week, covering Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 27. I'm your host, Eagle.
What up, it's Kiko.
Noxie.
And Nickums.
And before we get started, we would just like to say that AniTubeCon last weekend was a great success. We had a lot of fun collaborating with all the other creators and providing you all with a fun con experience while everything is shut down with the COVID going on.
Yeah, dude.
And we also raised just under $2,600 for charity between the COVID charity and the Black Lives Matter charity.
Let's go.
So thank you all again. Y'all killed it.
Killed the game.
And also, if you missed that, links in the description for the panel playlists, so you can go check out the backlog and see all that content, because it was fire.
Hell yeah.
Super fire.
And also,
fun.
while you're down there in that description, you can go ahead and see that link tree where you can find the links to any and all of our social media platforms, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to support the podcast if you'd so choose. And yeah, with all those words said, how you guys feel about this weekend jump? It's
Man,
a full
I'm so
week.
ready.
Got all the chapters.
It's a day late, so
so
like
excited.
of course we were like on edge, like biting our nails, like pulling our hair out. Like we really want to talk about these chapters because it's like we kind of like can't before we get in this setting. You know what I mean? At least not to any like serious degree. So
Right.
I'm super excited, especially coming out of AniTubeCon, like which was just super fun. Like I'm so ready to talk about new Jump chapters after a
so
nice little
excited.
break.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that said, then we can probably just jump right into this.
Let's do
Hell
it.
yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 109, the Shibuya
Chapter of the
Incident,
week.
part 27.
Yeah, it's my chapter of the week too.
Chapter of the week.
Who wants to go?
Yeah, man, it's hard. Yeah, I might have to agree with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could go.
Have you put Jujutsu Kaisen at chapter of the week before, Eagle?
I
ever remember you like verbally,
I don't know
like,
if we
outwardly
really.
saying this is my chapter of the week. for
I don't know.
Jujutsu?
I
It's
really
not like
don't
a thing that
too
we
often.
do.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
mean,
not a thing that we
sometimes
do.
I
It was
do.
a thing that we discussed doing at one point.
Yeah.
Actually devoting
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
thought to that. Like, what is the chapter of the week for
I
each of
think
us?
we
And we
did
say
that
that
for
at the
like
end
the
of the
first
episode.
2 episodes.
I think we did it for about 2, and then
Yeah.
we kind of fell off of it.
Yeah.
Shit, we can start it up again. But yeah, I don't know.
So
I
for
think
the record,
it's between this
we-
one and Hero for me.
Yeah.
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 We
This Hero and One Piece, obviously, because Ukushio,
This hero, One Piece.
Marco.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. We what, Nick?
I was gonna say we called literally multiple things in this
Oh,
chapter
definitely.
from last week.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like
dude.
so surprised. I mean, like not surprised, but like so
It's like,
last
damn.
week I was talking about what if Megumi is using his territory to try and get them out of this territory, you know what I mean?
Did say
And of course, like
that.
it doesn't work exactly as I thought it was going to work, where like, his territory actually had a door already open, but like
Yeah.
that his plan the whole time was to get him out was like,
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking fire.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also called, Toji, fucking Toji.
Yeah,
we like literally
Toji
were like,
jumps
oh, what
in
if
the
Toji
hole.
comes to this fucking
Well,
thing?
And just inside our own little contention, you guys all called Nanami and
Now
Naobito.
God, I always blank on that. Now Bito still being alive.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Bito,
that one's
the
not
guy
hard to call,
missing
though.
an
Yeah.
arm though.
Yeah. Missing
And
an
Nanami,
arm.
maybe
That's
missing an
crazy.
eye.
Nanami maybe
So-
Yeah.
missing an eye. but-
Yeah.
I wanna say something about that real quick
Yeah.
because Naobito missing an arm and Nanami missing an eye is very reminiscent to Yamamoto missing an arm and Kyoraku missing an eye with
Yeah.
Bleach coming back, the anime. I think
Oh.
it's weird. I mean, it'd be hard to say that like Gege threw that in that way, like
I mean, it's not
altered
too
the
far-fetched.
story.
Gege specifically, well, yeah, maybe altered the story, but Gege specifically already said that like Kubo Tite was another, influence. Like
Yeah.
Togashi and
Well-
Tite were
And maybe I always planned to have Naobito lose an arm, and he's like, Nanami was gonna take damage here, so maybe I just move it to here, like something like that to kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool thing I saw.
So that's where you went with that, because I was getting like really big Netro vibes from Naobito.
Yeah, definitely.
When he loses the arm and he's like, I mean, all that for one arm. I mean, it was 71 years old, but you're still gonna pay for that shit, bro. It was very like reminiscent of like when Meruem takes Netro's arm. He's like, you think I need 2 arms to pray? like that's like the kind of like vibes that I got from like this
amazing scene.
Yeah,
definitely.
dude.
I feel like Naobito is also kind of like doing the exact same thing Netro did, where he's kind of like clenching his muscle
like
and keeping the blood in, because I'm pretty
yeah.
sure if your arm was literally off, it would be spurting out blood. You know what I mean? And it's not.
Oh, yeah.
And we might see some blood spurts later, but at least in this panel, it does seem like he is like holding in the blood with his muscles or whatever.
Yes.
Well, and I was gonna ask, do we think that that's reverse curse technique healing, whatever, reverse healing technique, like
that could be a thing too. I was thinking that if it was gonna be a thing, it would be like to just like completely heal the arm. I don't know if that's possible.
But maybe
maybe
he's just not proficient with it, and all he can do is subside damage. That's kind of what I was thinking. Especially because you think like even a guy that old and that prestigious and that skilled, even if he doesn't like specialize in whatever domains or reverse curse healing, whatever, like that he could, scratch the surface of those a little bit, use them maybe a little bit. That would make sense to me. But,
Maki, the shining star.
I was just gonna say, bro,
Playful
let's go
cloud.
back to the beginning of the chapter and appreciate this.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
Maki,
definitely.
bro. These quick panels of her just piecing up Dagon.
Yeah, this is literally like a repeat of the Goodwill event when she did the exact same thing to Hanami with like the exact same choreography, basically. Pieces him up a little bit. He like kind of like
of his arm out.
Yeah, he like kind of like chump blocks a little bit, and then she hits like what I'm assuming is like a 360 degree, back fist
Spin,
strike.
it looks like
strike.
she swipes, follows through, and just hits him on the
and then sends that motherfucker down the block.
Flying.
Yeah.
Like that's Roman Cloud.
And I forget what Hanami, how he responded to being hit by Playful Cloud, but like Dagon immediately regenerating. You know what I mean? Like unfazed.
Yeah, and the regeneration illustration that that Gege uses is like, it's not like obvious. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like a zoomed in panel. You know what I mean? But you can still see it happening. And it's still like,
it's pretty cool. The curse regeneration, like the effect, it's like this bubbly kind of weird,
like symbiotic regeneration.
Yeah,
like cancer growing, or like a tumor, like
like the hive in Halo or something.
Yeah, or like a Yuppie.
I don't know.
Yuppie shape shifting. Shape shifting. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Right with that, I mean, the next panel, we get to see that the guaranteed hit is now nullified when another domain is in effect. Is in effect, and even it. And we were talking about this, like a clash of domains, and not
what does that look like?
And not like a hockey clash like we just got in a Stampede movie where that wouldn't make
any sense. Or like a Kamehameha wave, like versus a fucking like Big Bang attack or some shit. Yeah.
This is how
or
you just do it
gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this just makes all the sense in the world.
It takes rules away, or it takes conditions away, or
rules.
It's some
takes any inherent effects or rules that your
so here's my
question.
Some kind of dampening, detriment.
Is only Dagon's territory getting rules removed, or is Megumi's also getting rules removed?
Well,
are they like?
I would think both.
Megumi's I think is still not complete, because if he did, I mean, we could still get, information about this, like next chapter or something, but I don't think he has a sure hit technique inside of the Chimera Shadow Garden because it's not complete. You know what I mean?
Right,
because
but like say like his teleporting in between shadows, you know what I mean? Like, can he do that in this situation? I would probably guess not. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing about domains. So like when the exposition that we get on domains in chapter 15 specifically states that when you're inside of someone's domain, the enemy of that domain, or whoever it's being casted on, is not able to use any Jutsu Shiki at all. You know what I mean? So that you can't use like actual like inherent special curse techniques of your own.
What about Naobito and his frame ability?
He's only able to use that because Megumi expanded his domain in here. Yeah, so like as soon as Dagon initially expanded, nobody used a Jutsu Shiki. As soon as Megumi comes in, now we have both of them using, and it's crazy that we got that exposition in chapter 15, and now it's being rehashed here in chapter 109 with characters that aren't Gojo, and it still fits those rules that have always been there
and consistent.
Well, and not even just in action, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a simple callback like that. And it's just it's done in action.
It's because this is what happens when you flesh out your energy system before. At least what it seems like to me, like with this and like Hunter x Hunter, you're like, okay, I have a really good idea for an energy system. Let me make sure that this is perfect, and then I can write the rest of the story around it, and then everything has to obey the rules of that energy system. Is at least what it feels like to me.
Well, and that even goes back to the thing I was talking about last chapter, where Naobito is trying to slow the frames down of the incoming fish monsters and can't do it because he couldn't use it at that. He couldn't use his Jutsu Shiki at that point because of the domain.
But he should know that and wouldn't have to think it and be surprised by that if he's that experienced.
Yeah, that's
so maybe that goes against what your thought was.
Yeah, maybe.
Damn, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that
either.
Oh shit.
The tightest thing about it to me though is like, this is all happening fairly quickly, you would assume, because like the end of the chapter, last chapter was Maki, catching the playful clouds.
I figured it out after Eagle. Sorry, go ahead, Eagle. But I figured it out.
And it's just tight how immediately, without skipping a beat, Maki's in action, like you said. Nanami and Naobito realize like, oh shit, we can use our shit.
Yeah,
they pop back off. Boom, boom, boom. It's all just so quick, seamless. So very little communication.
AKA like
teamwork, dude.
And Dagon says they were in that scenario getting hit by the wave of Shikigami for 1 minute. You know what I mean? So like,
wow,
very very little time has passed.
Yeah, but that's a long time in a fight though. Like. But
superhuman fight, that's eternity. But no, like I was saying, like I'm pretty sure I figured it out now, is that Naobito was using his form of simple domain, so he should be able to use his Jutsu Shiki, and that's and the reason it couldn't stop the fish is because that's the sure hit technique, and so he can't use the Jutsu Shiki on that to stop the hit. I wouldn't think.
So
like that makes.
I was
because why else would he try to use his Jutsu Shiki in a domain if if they're just aren't supposed to work? But they do work within simple domain. Simple domain blocks out.
I think his simple domain. I think his simple domain or his falling blossom emotion is literally just to deal with sure hit techniques. Is what they said. So like, wait, were you trying to say that because he was using that like simple domain or that sure hit counter
version of it?
Yeah. So like, were you saying that because were you saying that because he was using that sure hit counter that he can't use Jutsu Shiki at the same time as that?
No, I'm saying that he could. That's because if you can't use Jutsu Shiki within a domain, why was he trying, right? Like your question, like why would he even try? He's experienced enough to know that he can't. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that he can because of his simple domain.
Oh, okay, yeah, but it doesn't. But that doesn't really make sense to me yet, just because the simple domain is exclusively for sure hit techniques, not because like the sure hit technique is one thing. The fact that you're in the domain is what cancels your Jutsu Shiki itself, like inherently.
Yeah, but can't within because I'm thinking back at Mekamaru.
Yeah.
He had simple domain in vials, and once that was expended around him, he could use Jutsu Shiki, right?
I can't remember.
I mean, I guess it's so hard because
it's hard with Mekamaru too.
Shiki, yeah, because Mekamaru is his Jutsu Shiki, which is weird. Maybe that's a weird example, but it feels like he couldn't. Because after he gets in Mahito's domain, he's pulling on his fucking, triggers or whatever, his controls, and they don't work. His Jutsu Shiki Mekamaru
that's what happened when he was in the Mahayana prison? Oh, yes. I remember that.
And then once he has simple domain popped around him, he can use it again. But only in a small, feel like in a small...
Yeah, but see, the simple domain is a dome of its own. The falling blossom emotion is
but the falling blossom emotion is like an aura around you.
Yeah,
still an aura around him. So within in himself, he should be able to.
He
has a projectile.
It's still a shield.
He has a projectile.
I feel like
that is true.
Yeah,
that is.
I feel like it's
maybe
the same thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to negating effects of, like passive effects of being within somebody's expanded territory, it's relatively the same thing, both of them. But I think it was highlighted that the falling blossom technique is better for sure hit techniques than the typical simple domain.
And that doesn't mean that that's its only purpose.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's
even
its only
if it's
purpose.
Stated that way.
Well, no, I think it has the same effect of like if you're using that, you kind of have the same effect of like the simple domain, but just on your own
smaller,
body.
Simple domain plus.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, Kiko is saying that it would make sense if the Falling Blossom technique does allow you to use Jutsu Shiki inside of an enemy's domain, which would justify him having the thought of why are the fish slowing down.
Yeah, and maybe then, because no, that wouldn't make sense because he would know that. Well, I was gonna say is that he has a projectile attack, just like you said.
Yeah, it's outside. It's if it's such a thin veil of aura around you,
that
like pops out a tendril whenever a Surehead technique encounters it to dissipate it, then like it wouldn't make sense to extend that to your Jutsu Shiki.
Well, what if? So I guess the only thing I can think of in this line is like, what if Naobito wasn't sure how large the Surehead technique was? So for example, like if the Surehead technique was not just hitting him, but also maybe a few feet out, then he would be able to use his, like the Falling Blossom emotion would be a little further extended off of his body, countering the Surehead technique. So he would have some space to do it, but that's not how it works, perhaps.
Right.
And so he tried to use his technique and was like, damn, like my, counter does not extend that far out.
Okay. Even if the Falling Blossom technique did make Naobito think that he should be able to use his Jutsu Shiki, obviously he was wrong. And then as soon as Megumi comes in with the Chimera Shadow Garden, he's like, I can use my techniques again. So that would mean that Falling Blossom emotion does not allow him to do it. Otherwise he would have done it already. So maybe he asked the question because he thought it would work that way and then it didn't. And then now he was like, okay, I guess I can't use that in here no matter what.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think I gotta just go back and reread last chapter.
Yeah.
Maybe that's simple domains plus is that it gives you the ability to cast Jutsu Shiki, whereas the Falling Blossom emotion gives you the ability to counter sure hit techniques.
Ooh, that could be the difference. And I would love that delineation. Seriously. Yeah. I think that would be
still begs the question, why wouldn't Naobito know that? Why would he be surprised?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't even remember him being surprised that he couldn't use his technique. I remember him being like interested in like what type of technique the sure hit technique was.
It would only be him being surprised that he couldn't use his technique if that's what Kiko, because that's what Kiko was guessing that dialogue from last week was.
Oh, sure.
When he said, "Why aren't the fish slowing down?"
Well, and that was kind of to support that was his Jutsu Shiki, is that he's slowing the frames down. So he was surprised that they weren't slowing down. So I mean, but that's what we're inferring it off.
Yeah.
Of, but
yeah.
Well, I was under the never mind.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's fine. I mean,
I was just gonna say I already said this before. That's why I just kind of didn't want to say it. But when that happened, I was under the impression that he was surprised they weren't slowing down because he knew that there would typically be a cap on someone's amount of Jutsu Shiki that they could throw at you.
So maybe he was just maybe Naobito was saying they're not slowing down because he didn't expect the death swarm to be endless.
Yeah, infinite.
Yeah, because it was specifically stated by Dagon that like this shit is endless.
Yeah.
Like that's the power of the sea, bitch.
Yeah. God, I love this fucking story. Okay, so going into the rest of the choreography here, which I want to touch on. So we have some of these fish. Okay, well after Maki slaps him up a little bit, he comes back out and then he's like, okay, this kid's got a domain here. So like I'm not gonna be able to have my sure hit technique until he's dealt with. So he like shoots some like fish out of like his belt, which I don't remember exactly when the death swarm started, but maybe this is like his regular Jutsu Shiki outside of a domain is just conjuring fish to throw at you.
I thought when the death swarm started, they just came out of nowhere.
Out of the sea, they were like it just seemed like they were coming out of the sea. Yeah,
this is his regular Jutsu Shiki.
Yeah,
he used it outside his when he used it outside of the domain before earlier in the fight, like something similar.
It was like a belt of like a water.
Black,
oh yeah,
but he conjured it out of that black hole in his stomach.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's super cool. So, oh my god, and then Nanami coming to block the fucking move by jumping tat off the frogs' heads and then coming in with the fucking
frogs,
cleaver.
Like,
fucking tight.
Bro, come on, bro.
I thought the frogs might activate, but it seems like they were just kind of conveniently placed.
Yeah, stepping stones.
Yeah, stepping stones.
And I wouldn't say conveniently placed. I'd say strategically placed.
Strategically
placed. He put those there for Nanami to counter.
For anyone, and see, and this goes back to what Eagle was saying about how like there's not that much communication necessary because like And that goes back to what I was saying about how like fleshed out this energy system is. Like these people are professionals, and like this is how you show like what experience looks like, you know, inside of the upper echelon of like, you know, quality of sorcerer. You know what I mean? Like there doesn't need to be a whole lot of words. You can show that these people know what they're doing instead of like giving dialogue or giving internal monologues even, you know, that explains this is why I'm you know, like it just shows this is why I'm a professional. And you don't always have to say it, you know what I mean?
And say Megumi is putting those frogs there, you know, tactically, so Nanami can run on them. It shows growth from Megumi, that he is getting to the level where he has the intuition to make these plays early in the game that he needs to, so Nanami can follow up. And Nanami also growth, trusting Megumi's instincts and following up off of what he's doing, you know, like because Nanami, you know, still seems like a loner, 1v1er kind of type, you know, and even though he clearly has the ability to group up and fight, you know, maybe it's just kind of how the story's told, but I always just felt like, you know, he was a 1v1 enhancer type kind of, you know.
And the power
and
scaling,
this,
go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say, like, this also shows Megumi's growth also in the fact that, like, he's like going further down the support path. You know what I mean? He has many Shikigami. He could have summoned a lot of things, but he picked frogs that are basically only useful for stepping stones, or at least primarily in this case useful for stepping stones for other people.
Yeah, and I think that also goes to the fact that he only has so much that he can use right now because the domain that he's it's unfinished or presumably unfinished, and B, the fact that he's in a domain tug of war, you think that, okay, I'm only going to use what's absolutely necessary because I don't know how long this is going to take. You know, all the strategic elements that got to go into that when you're thinking about that type of thing. So it's crazy. You can look at like 2 panels and infer that much from this fucking story. That's how good this shit is.
Yeah.
He's going to have to come up on some new Jujutsu Shika, or what the hell do you call the beast? Not Shikigami. Shikigami? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I didn't think that was it.
I don't think
he's going to have to come up on some new Shikigami here soon, because
I don't know if that's how
now that you said that,
that's not how it works.
He's got what, like the frogs?
Well, I don't think you can just decide that you need new Shikigami and just like conjure them.
I thought he had 10 of them.
I think
it was.
It's really complicated without like having like a wiki thing to like reference, because I don't really.
Well, so how was Geto just compiling them?
Because he's a curse manipulator.
No, he's taking curses and using them.
Yeah.
He's like a beastmaster for curses.
Shit's different.
Even.
Yeah, but see, like Megumi is like channeling his Juryoku through shadows as a medium to like conjure these things, which I feel like are contractual to like his Jutsu Shiki, which is like what gives it so much strength. So like, it's something like that. But I mean,
he's running out.
Yeah.
Well, he's got like the frogs now. He's got Max Elephant.
Which is supposed to be Bancho.
He's got one wolf left, but it's stronger now apparently because the first one died. That was stated.
I had a point that I've been trying to make for like 3 minutes.
I'd like to see the talking,
wolf more. And I had it in mind the whole time until like right before it was my turn to talk again, and then like literally 15 seconds before I was supposed to go, I lost it. But all right, fuck it then. Going back into the choreography here, when Naobito, like after the Nanami shit, Naobito comes out the cut and like hits a left like haymaker at Dagon, and he like ducks it, but then he does like a full 360 with the swing. I loved that.
Super cool.
Panel. Loved that panel. And then Dagon like shoots these giant eels out of his shit, and then Naobito like blocks it with his like left
catches
hand,
it with one arm and his foot,
and then the other foot is like dragging while like trying to like stop it, and like the illustration is just like so fucking so
in the anime
that's gonna go hard as shit, bro. And I love how like we've seen different like applications of breaking this like frame that Naobito conjures. First he like swings at it with like a haymaker the first time you see it, then the next time you see it like Nanami like comes down and like slashes it with the cleaver, and then this time you see he makes the fucking screen and then like stomps on it, you know what I mean?
You see guts and eyeballs and shit.
It's so fucking cool, dude. So
well, in a way Naobito just comes across like the panel is so tight, just no background, all white, like even his eyes are just whited out, and he just is coming across like a demon. And you don't even know that his arm is missing until like like that bottom right panel, and you're like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's so good. It's all so good, dude. Gege's paneling.
This shit is crazy.
And just like structure of this comic or this manga is just so fucking beautiful all the time. And even though like people say that the art is a flaw or that they don't like the art, I mean, that's their opinion, they can have it. But like, it's like if you like look past like the surface that it's just like a sketchy, you know, like manga, like there's a lot of amazing illustration techniques found inside of this sketchiness. 100%. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like
there's plenty of manga out there that's like picture perfect, like and you question like is this digital? Like are they even like really drawing this stuff? UQ holder. I mean, which is like half digital as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the Breaker.
Like, yeah, I mean a lot of webtoons are like
more so in New Waves than season 1.
Right. But like even the onomatopoeia, the sound effects.
Yeah.
Beautiful brush strokes, like all the shading, beautiful like heavy ink. You know what I mean? Like this is just. It doesn't have to be clean to be good art. You know what I mean? This is style. It's called style, baby.
Yes,
like,
that's right. Yeah, like thank you.
The illustration of the kanji on this entire like pages 10 and 11.
Yeah.
Like the Kirsch when he's cracking down the.
That's what I'm saying. The sound effects.
They just look like inky brush strokes. Sometimes you just get like straight like bubble text, like perfect bubble text. You know, kanji in these situations. But Gege like likes to use like. It looks like I literally just did this with a wet paintbrush and it's still wet. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love that choice. Like,
yeah.
Fuck yeah, definitely. Dude. Oh my God.
Good shit.
Yeah, the end of the chapter, Toji coming back, this last panel that we have here. As
the whole page.
As awesome as it is, this is definitely a callback to like when Gojo like reverse Jutsu Shiki'd himself back after Toji killed him. And then he was high. Yeah, he was like high as shit, like floating through the air, and he had that dialogue like throughout the heavens and earth, I alone am the honored one, and like
and it's
Toji
the same
was like,
clouds in the background and shit.
Yeah, so Toji was like, "Are you high right now?" And he's like, "I'm just enjoying the pleasant. All I can feel is the pleasantness of this world, whatever the dialogue was." And he just like is like floating through the air right before he purples him. Yeah. That's.
I just love this line though. Like, they would all bear witness to the bare flesh of the one who is free. That's so sick.
Yes.
So sick.
And and just Gege like again flexing this fucking narration
to the one who left it all behind and his overwhelming intensity.
Yeah,
let's go.
Can't you just hear that in the Hunter narrator? And then only 2 seconds has passed. You know, like
Ichiro Nagai.
But since we're here, all right, go ahead, Eagle. Yeah.
I was just gonna say another good ass moment for me was like the paneling there with Dagon when he's realizing with his inner monologue like what's going on, how it's just him thinking, and then a completely black panel of him just like, and he's like, no,
yeah. He realizes it. That's so
a
good.
Great. That's a great observation because that's just a great way to do that when you got some kind of fish monster. It's hard to tell their emotion, right? You can't tell like, oh, my tentacles moved weird. You know, like my mouth. It's like, oh, you know,
like he doesn't even have eyebrows or anything like that. Like, he can't even like raise an eyebrow or anything.
Because that's basically the exact same drawing, just like negative spaced or whatever. You know, like
inverted colors.
Inverted color. Yeah, so it's like.
But even though it's inverted color, he still looks like pissed because of you know, like even if it is the exact same drawing and just inverted color, like you could tell that
it's not the same drawing.
You could tell his facial expression is just different.
It's similar, but it looks very
I mean, like, is it different though? Because look at the shading strokes. Like,
I guess.
I would almost say it's like literally the same.
That's what negative. That's what negative, like, you know, space like flipping does though. I
was confused because like the bottom panel of him superimposed over the white panel.
Oh yeah,
you're missing the bottom left of the black panel, so it looks a little different.
And the thought bubble, not
and the thought and the
thought
bubble.
But you're right. It is the same.
So since we like went to the end, like I just really want to highlight how he's saying those who inherited the curse of the Zenin family, the one who couldn't fully leave behind that curse, they will all bear witness. So that curse, not an actual curse, it's a metaphorical curse of being born into the Zenin family. You know, like I feel like I don't know. I feel like some people thought that was actually talking about how like he has heavenly restriction curse, so he doesn't have any fucking energy the same way Maki does have Juryoku, but just can't use it. But like same thing, basically roughly the same thing. You know, a little bit different. And I think people took it that way. I don't know. I'm glad you guys all didn't. It doesn't seem like any of you guys didn't. Like
Okay.
I just
that's a good thing. That's a good thing to point out for like if anybody in the audience did though.
Yeah.
I also like the paneling where the one where it says those who are inherited the curse, and it's superimposed over Maki and Naobito both together, and those is plural, and then the singular. Oh, sorry, it's Megumi and Naobito, and then the singular over Megumi, or sorry, over Maki only. I just love subtle who are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about the two, under the speech bubble.
All who fit into the same box.
I didn't peep. So shout out Nick for that, because that's brilliant for sure. Definitely. Wow.
Well, so now that you said that, what does it mean when in relation to Maki when it says the one who couldn't fully leave behind that curse?
Because she's staying back to follow the Zenin clan rules to try to take it over.
Even though she shouldn't.
She can't fully leave the Zenin clan because she has the ambitions to take it over.
That makes sense.
What's her sister's name? Why am I drawing a blank here?
Mei.
Okay.
No,
not
Mei. Mei's got the fucking front braid.
Mei's the white. Yeah, that's completely.
That's my wife, bro. Hold on, you better remember that.
but Mei wanted Maki to not pursue, further advancing in the Zenin clan, not pursuing being a Jujutsu sorcerer, and to not pursue that, because even though Mei does have a Jutsu Shiki, she just was like, we should just stay together and just forget about all this bullshit, and not go through this. And Maki's like, fuck that. I don't care. They've shit on me my whole life, and I'm not going to let them keep doing it. And that's exactly why that speech bubble is, or that
I'm about to abolish this clan.
Yeah.
And I'm about to revamp this motherfucker, bro.
Well, and that one's like a double, it's aimed doubly at Maki and at Toji, because it's Toji in this whole thing is aimed towards Toji, right? But that the first narration bubble was aimed at also Megumi and Naobito, and where that one, so just that was just really fucking cool to see that it was that way. But what I really wanted to talk about, Eagle, you should go, because this might take a little bit.
You got something else that you want to say?
I think you were about to ask the same thing. I was just gonna say how we think Toji gonna activate.
Oh, so, that is a conversation that we should
whose head is he about to tear off?
I think that's the biggest one, and I think I should say what I got to say first before we go into that, because I
have a smaller thing for a while before that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
go ahead, Kiko.
Go for it.
So first is Roman Cloud originally belonged to Toji, and we have proof of this.
I don't even think I remembered that. That's crazy.
No, but it's crazy. I had to look back on this too. So it is Chapter 75, which is the flashback with Toji and Geto and
he has it.
So no, he does not. Geto has it and uses it against him after he steals the Ouroboros curse from fucking Toji. He now used the cursed weapon he pulled out of the curse, because he has total control over that curse after he, Geto manipulates it or whatever.
After he takes it.
Pulls Roman Cloud out of the Ouroboros curse
and fights
uses it against Toji. Then fights Toji with it. Yeah.
Oh wait, fights Toji with it. He has it against Yuta in the prequel, doesn't he?
That's what I'm thinking. Yuta. I know I was looking back.
Oh my god, I completely forgot
Geto definitely
about that.
uses it after he steals the Ouroboros curse. I want to say it's against Toji, but maybe not.
No, he never uses it against Toji. He uses like the palm, the Hunter palm Siberia like curse.
You're right.
With the scissors.
You're right.
And then he uses the dragon that he slices in half, and he uses everything but that. You know what I mean? But then he totally takes that curse from Toji. And by the time he takes the curse from Toji successfully, Toji's dead already. So this is in the first chapter.
You're right.
First chapter of Premature Death, I believe, after it comes out of Hidden Inventory. It's the beginning of that chapter is Geto seeing the Ouroboros curse on the ground. But yeah, he totally takes that shit. And then in the prequel, he fights Yuta with it at the end in the final conflict. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty fucking crazy.
That is so fucking cool. So he's gonna be like, give me that shit. That's your dad's.
Actually, I should have probably let Nick go with his, because that does kind of segue into talking about what he's going to do. But yeah, you should go.
My thing is just like a little gushing of when Nanami says assemble. And then the narration where it's like they're fighting against Dagon. Dagon understands human speech, but like you got to be a little like subtle about it. You can't just say like, we're trying to bust out of here, guys, get over here, you know what I mean? Like you can't say that. So I just thought that was a really good narration.
It's like when you have like a toddler and like you don't want to like say, you know, like something that they like recognize as like something fun to do, so you spell it out so that they don't get excited. I don't know if for anyone who has kids out there, like, you know, like if you, whenever you say the word playground, you have to be like PLAYGROUND, you know what I mean? So that they're not like, what? We're going to a playground? Yeah, something like that. But yeah, totally like that though. That was an amazing.
So let's go into Toji.
Yeah. Okay. So Toji.
Also, Ino had to retire.
Yeah, Ino,
he was forced to withdraw. I wonder how slapped he got by Toji.
Dude, we saw him. His face was swelled up like Gon after Canary beat the shit out of him.
I didn't remember that. Okay.
Yeah. He fell off the top of the skyscraper, and fucking Megumi like caught him with Nue on the back of Nue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and his shit was.
Okay, I totally forgot that.
Yeah, his shit was like a Looney Tunes anvil fell on his fucking face.
And so that means that Megumi, after he saves Ino, just jumps out, bounces right away, I guess, right? Like, I mean, or are we still gonna get maybe we get a flashback here in this fight of like what happens?
Where he took Ino, but I mean, like,
but
I'm not gonna hold my breath for it. Yeah.
That's what I think Toji's gonna do personally, is take Playful Cloud and just beat the fuck out of everybody. I don't think he's on anybody's side here. I think he'll beat the shit out of Dagon.
Unless
I don't think he'll have a problem with Megumi.
I mean, like, what if Megumi's whole "we're trying to escape" is a huge decoy plan to get Dagon to approach all of them, and then be like, "Here's Toji."
Yeah.
And then they all jump out and they just leave Toji.
So then that would mean that.
I was gonna say they all work together.
That would mean that Megumi and Toji like met up prior to this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Megumi and Toji met up prior and like discussed, like, hey, you want to do this?
And that makes sense.
Why would he do that?
No, that makes sense to me because the last thing.
He's coming in a little too psychotic for me.
He is coming in a little too psychotic, but like at the same time, right before Toji died, the last thoughts he had, he thought back to Megumi and he regretted how like his entire situation with his son like panned out, and how he like regretted how like his son was just going to be a slave to the Zenin clan. So now he finds his son now, all these years later, and finds out that he grew up without those shackles. He's probably going to be proud as shit for this kid and happy that his son, like, that it didn't end the way that he thought in his final moments of life. You know what I mean? So I could see him being like, I fuck with you, Megumi. He's probably going to be proud of Maki for her ambitions too, because she's saying, fuck the Zenin clan, I want to take this shit over and reform it. So if he's got beef with anyone here, it's going to be Naobito. You know what I mean? And if he's going to attack just indiscriminately, it's going to be towards Dagon if he gets too close, or like Naobito specifically because he has like specific beef with that dude.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to just necessarily be indiscriminate. Like I jump out of the hole and I just start fucking anybody up.
Swinging in random directions?
Yeah. No, I think that there will be some, like Toji fighting Dagon by himself, at least for some period of time, you know, or
while everybody else would escape then, because if he's gonna hold them off for any amount of time, they're gonna bounce.
Hard to say. Like, is this hole still even available
after Toji jumps in?
Yeah, like, may have used all the rules.
So then that means they didn't talk about this beforehand, because he wouldn't ruin their escape plan. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna have to bounce pretty quick then if that's the case, because I think if Toji is attacking Dagon, he's just gonna wash him in like 5 seconds.
Well, and break the domain.
Yeah. Think about if Gojo was fighting Dagon right now, because that's pretty much what we're talking about. I guess he doesn't have all his weapons, but he's still fucking got the physical innate ability. I don't know. He might not have his body. But it seems by the narration dialogue like he's got it all.
Well,
I would feel like he does have his physical, all his physical abilities. I think he does now at this point. That was a question we had at one point.
We keep getting from characters here and there. Since Gojo's been sealed, new feats from Gojo. You know what I mean? Like these characters, Mei, Nanami, keep referencing things like, well, Gojo is the only one who could do this. You know what I mean? And they were talking about how like Gojo's the only one who could use a domain multiple times in a day. So if they are trying to like stall Dagon out here and like exhaust his Juryoku reserve, then maybe like everyone escapes but Naobito and Toji, and then, you know, or Naobito, Toji, or maybe just Nanami leaves, and then it's just Zenin family boxing this dude until he runs out of domain, and then they really got him when he doesn't have a domain anymore. You know what I mean? It could be a situation like that, because Nanami's clearly like, well, maybe not clearly, but if he really has lost an eye, and maybe he hasn't lost an eye, because remember when like Endeavor fought the hooded Nomu, and like we totally thought he lost a fucking eye, but it was just blood.
I don't think it's guaranteed. It could just be blood.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, Nanami has things that he could do outside of this. He can go tell people things. He can go grab people he thinks are like necessary for the next phase of this plan. He's definitely very like future oriented like that. So I can see Nanami being the only one that jumps out of this hole, leaving the Zenin family back to deal with Dagon. And then he goes and like, you know, resets and like finds the next phase of the mission. That would be one thing that I could see happening too. Or everyone leaves but Naobito and Toji. And then they deal with whatever differences that they got while they're beating this fish dude to death.
They could all leave but Toji as well, and they start to walk away, and the domain just shatters because he already beat the fuck out of Dagon. and then Toji,
that's what I'm talking about.
You think I was finished with y'all?
So
where are y'all going?
Oh my god, bro!
Toji's got shit to do here.
Yeah,
There's a lot. He needs to address every Zenin basically in one way or the other. He's got importance with all three of them for different reasons. And obviously he's gonna have big beef with Naobito for sure. He's very similar to Maki, and I don't know, maybe he'll just be able to sense that and tell like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, some kind of maybe like, hey, I fucks with you, so you might get off. But then Megumi, it's like, I know he saw regret as he died, but I just feel like a guy like Toji's about to just fight his son. All right, let's see what you got, because I'm about to try to, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's going to get on his Yujiro Hanma shit and just be like, yo, like, square up, bitch. Like, what's up?
I don't think that's how it's going to go down. One, I mean, like, I don't know if Toji would even, like, want to fight his son knowing that he's, like, a caster support type. That feels, like, kind of, like, awkward from, like, a... Well, maybe. I don't know. You never know.
No,
but,
that's
like,
how all jewelry... I mean, pretty much all...
I get it, but, like, I just, for some reason, that feels awkward to me.
I don't know. If you're in a Nen fight, doesn't matter what your ability is. You're sometimes in a fight.
That's totally true too. So I mean, I guess I retract that, but at the same time, I don't have any reasoning for why I think it's not going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. Okay. I do want
to call. I want to throw up a questionnaire to everyone here.
Yeah.
Who does Toji attack first?
Dagon or Naobito?
No, you got to pick one.
The gun to my head, Dagon, because Dagon's rushing. But I mean, like, I can see him, like, popping up, noticing everyone who's around right now and being like, Naobito? All right. And then, like, trying to go for Naobito, but then Dagon's, like, new human, you know, and then trying to, like, rush him and like, oh, I got to deal with you first. All right. You know what I mean?
Because his animal instincts are going to tell him that this dude is, like, not a fucking joke right
shit.
now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dagon might really go full tilt and, like, attack Toji on some instinctual shit.
The other thing about Toji, though, like, he is a sneak attacker, like, stealth, like, it's like, can he even fight? Okay, Naobito's injured. And
he needs a weapon. He needs a weapon.
Yeah, a full, which
he doesn't have hands
obviously
like that.
Roman Cloud, which is going to be Roman Cloud.
Yeah, he'll just pop Maki in the face and take it.
But is Dagon going to let them, like, have their little family feud here while they, like, argue for a second? Give me Playful Cloud, let me box Naobito first.
Toji's about to just take it from her and throw her ass and just take
it. The weapon.
Huh?
What?
Toji does.
Who needs a weapon? Why does he need a weapon?
Because he doesn't have any cursed energy. How does he deal with a special grade curse without a weapon?
Yeah, with cursed tool. He has to have a cursed tool.
You can't. The system doesn't allow you to do that.
No
matter how tight you are, he has zero cursed energy. You need cursed energy
you have to
deal with curses.
It's just like trying to punch through fucking Ko, like without Ko trying to punch through like Ryu or whatever, you know.
No,
like,
it's literally without Nen trying to hit somebody with any Nen around them. It's just
exactly. That's what I mean. Exactly right. Like trying to
Yeah.
punch somebody with no Nen, somebody who has like a Ryu shield on him. Like it's you can't punch through that, you know. Like
I mean, it doesn't even need to be a Ryu. Just like any aura, like your aura is open. You're not in Zetsu. And someone without Nen tries to punch you, it's not going to do anything, and you might hurt yourself. You know. Seriously.
But that's the same reason why, you know, Toji and Maki have curse tools at all times. It's because they cannot hurt curses with their bare hands. Maki may be able to, because she does have.
She has like a little, she's a little bit, but not enough to deal with a special grade.
Yeah, definitely not. And so he's just gonna fucking take that shit, throw her ass off, and just whap, and just give him the work. But that's my question still, though. Like, man, Toji seemed so badass, of course, when we saw him in the prequel, and all that made a lot of sense
because of all the prep time. That man was Bruce Wayne in
that
fucking
exactly right.
That man was
exactly
Batman,
right.
bro.
So, can he even fight most jujutsu sorcerers without stealth and guile? Like,
if he has a weapon, I think so. I think so for sure. Because I feel like it's that first, and then it's like stealth and all of the prep that he had was because he was going against Satoru Gojo. You know what I mean? And he low diffed him with that prep time when he wasn't even like really like in his rhythm.
Low diff isn't the right.
Like no. I mean he low diffed him.
It's a sneak attack. A sneak attack killed him before he could do anything.
Yeah. It happened that way.
All's fair in love and war.
But like if you remember, that's true too. But like if you remember, he wasn't
low diff.
but he wasn't even in his like zone. After he fucking like stuck the fucking inverted spear of heaven in his forehead and like killed him, he was like, okay, I think I'm remembering how to do this. He wasn't even full power when he did that. Like he was warming up. You know what I mean? So that's why I call it a low diff. But it's like,
well, and he really did wash
Geto too. Yeah.
Gojo. And the shit, like he came up and was like, bow.
Yeah.
Sink.
Yeah. His plan was for Gojo and dealt with Geto too.
Like
so it's like
with multiple curse tools that countered Geto.
That's right.
Still too.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, you can't say low diff if they don't actually fight. Like a ninja just coming in and decapitating somebody.
Oh
okay,
no.
Diff,
Gojo did fight.
But
he tried to use blue. He tried to use all types of shit, and he just had specific counters. It was an exchange. It wasn't just
right away.
No, after he came in and stabbed him through the back. And that's what started it. And he was like, holy shit, how'd you sneak up on me? Then he pulled it out. They stood there for a second. And then he told Geto to run. And then he started throwing blues at him. And he dodged that shit like a pinball. And then threw the chaff grenade shit out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Still.
He's a soldier, bro.
Okay, low diff or not. Let's wrap this chapter up.
Yeah, let's wrap this chapter up. Yeah,
it is running along in this Jujutsu chapter.
Yeah, we should be done.
Amazing
conversation. So good. That was
such
a good conversation.
I knew it would. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, with that then, we can go ahead and move into chapter 72 of Chainsaw Man all together.
Yes.
What a chapter.
The chapter felt like a sitcom.
And it was super sweet and like endearing and like very powerful. I thought it was a very powerful chapter.
It was a super powerful chapter.
Humor and
depressing
drama.
For me is depressing is the word I use for this one.
Sure.
And I'll explain why.
I'll explain
why when we get to it.
Well, why don't you? Well, who wants to take it away? I mean, Kiko, do you want to start?
Yeah, start.
I guess I don't want to jump to why I think it's depressing.
I mean, Eagle seems pretty fixated on learning why you said that. So
well, I can start us off. I have maybe things to say
go ahead.
more in the beginning or whatever. I mean, like super cute chapter. I just love like calling power Powie. You know, Powie's good now. Like. I've calmed down.
Yeah.
Who's gonna take care of Meowie? You know, and they, of course, they get fucking Kishibe to do it or whatever.
You got the booze, I got the cat.
He's just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Amazing Power humor as always. I mean, Power is just a phenomenal character.
Yes.
Kiko, whereabouts in the chapter are you starting with your depressing talk?
Well, I got stuff to say about the beginning stuff.
Let's do it.
Or his grave, rather.
I got some. Okay, first of all, let's see. Aki's growth has been incremental and subtle, but massive at the same time. It's amazing how you can have it be very subtle, but you get it.
It's very potent.
8, 9, 10 things, that happen all throughout spanning the entire story. Where you see these growth points for him. That's great to see.
Wow.
How far is this expedition away? Is it next arc for the Gun Devil?
Oh shit.
It's a great question.
That is a great question. Because we might be going towards like Endgame if it is then, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's kind of wow.
Well, and that
very recently we've dealt with that door inside Denji now, like for multiple times, and I feel like it's getting more frequent and more explicit that there's a door, we're not going to go through it, and it's like that does seem to be leading towards something.
And honestly, it would make sense if the next arc was the last arc, because we just went to Hell, which is like a question that like everyone's probably had since like starting this series and knowing that devils are a major factor. So like obviously you associate devils with Hell, and then you go into the final boss of the series, which is clearly the Gun Devil and or Makima. You know what I mean? And we are getting more information about Makima, why everyone's scared of her. We still don't know jack shit about her, but like this final arc would be a good time to like wrap that plot thread up, deal with the final boss. We just went to hell the arc before, so it's like, what else is there to this series? And Fujimoto, I don't remember how long Fire Punch is, but like, historically, he doesn't have very long stories. Yeah, go ahead, Eagle.
Only because you're saying that, like, I don't know about you guys, but I would feel like not cheated and not like disappointed, but just kind of a little like, man, like, damn,
you
like,
just want more.
You just want more.
Other carnal fears.
Well, we might
like
get
if we go right to the Gun Devil now.
Yeah.
If we go right to the Gun Devil now, but see, now that's the thing is like I was thinking like, man, like okay, if Gun Devil's final arc and we're getting final boss now and the series is ending after this next arc or whatever.
Yeah. Well, we don't know all the players involved.
Then like he better have a lot of carnal fears in his squad because I want to see more of them. Yeah. But like based on how much damage the fucking Darkness Devil was doing, can we see multiple carnal fears along with the Gun Devil and have it be feasible to do any fucking thing?
Those primal fears are serious, and I mean, like, it could be a situation where like primal fears are fighting on the side of the protagonist to deal with the Gun Devil. We do see new ones. Because it's like, if it's Gun Devil and primal fears versus what's left of our protagonist team, how the fuck is Fujimoto gonna write that in a way that makes sense unless Makima has been a fucking perfect character this entire time with no ulterior motives, and she's the ultimate, trump card to deal with all of these endgame threats. Like,
now that you bring her up, now that you bring her up, and also that you brought up the point of maybe the carnal fears, we could see a few of them fighting on the side of the, what we would call the good guys.
Yeah, what you'd have
maybe
to call
Makima does. Guys, maybe Makima does have like 1, 2, maybe a few of them, because thinking back to that shit where she was smashing people.
Yeah,
that was like some omnipotent, like godly shit. I'm sure we would all say.
Yeah,
maybe that. Like, would you guys consider like fear of a higher power a carnal fear? Maybe that was some early exposition into that devil.
The God Devil? I think Kiko was talking about that before. Or maybe it was someone else.
Yeah.
I still want to say that smashing was Heights Devil.
Heights,
I loved that from Nick,
I forgot that you brought that up. That was a really good. I did like that a lot.
But the only thing that's against it is that's like looks more like squishing in kind of like
now it's been kind of twisted.
Twisting motion, which is not Heights.
Yeah. But I'm pretty confident it was stated that the primal fear devils have never once experienced death, so they're not on Earth. They're only in hell.
Yeah, and are we going back to hell? The way I've taken it.
Yeah. Like that's the question. I feel like Makima has been to hell clearly because she knew the Darkness Devil was baiting her. She knew how to get there. Like Makima has to have been there before and knows about those devils. But like, I just don't. I could be wrong, but I feel like it was stated that the carnal or primal fear devil, whatever you want to call them, those devils have never once experienced death. So they've only remained in hell because they have to die and then be revived by Chainsaw Man to go to Earth.
And get a contract with somebody, or not get a contract, become a fiend.
Well,
yeah.
So then are they born in hell? So how does that work? So if they've never died,
how do they get
that would imply that they're chilling on Earth still and have been there forever. But then the Darkness Devil is in hell.
Devils can manifest on the planet Earth, though, right?
I mean, certainly,
they gotta die and be revived.
So then that means that they're born in hell, and then who kills them in hell?
I don't know if they're born in hell.
Fear devils.
What about the Gun Devil? The Gun Devil was born in hell. We made guns. Humans made guns. In Earth.
Yeah, that's a good.
Well, I think what Kiko was implying is that they're born in hell. I think what Kiko was implying is that they're born in hell and then chainsaws them up.
Yeah, I think
and sends them to Earth.
Yeah, I think that's what A.N.G.A was saying. In that
kills them technically.
Yeah.
So just because the fears are manifested on Earth doesn't mean that they don't be birthed in hell and then.
Right.
And then a carnal fear devil kills them and they get sent to Earth by resurrection through Chainsaw. I'm not saying that Chainsaw is the one to kill those devils to send them to Earth, but or whatever. But it's so hard to say any of this for certain, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
It's tough. It's tough, but I feel like that's how it went.
How else do we feel about this chapter, though?
I got a little bit more to say, just a little bit more here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we haven't talked about this chapter like at all. We're just gonna go into like
so public safety's
Chainsaw
best,
Man theory for 30 minutes.
What does public safety's best look like? Now that we're talking about this next expedition, the next arc, public safety's best is going to be on this. Division 4 is pretty much a joke, an experiment.
Yeah, he said
anyway.
that. I was like, damn, bro. Like,
we didn't even expect much out of y'all.
Yeah.
We don't even expect much out of you guys. So what does public safety's best really look like? We obviously haven't seen
not
it
better
other
than
M.A.N.G.A.
None of them individually are better than Kishibe, or what does that mean?
I kind of took that as like a little bit of
Kishibe is one of their best, but he's on his way out, you know?
So that means that like all of these top best guys, so like so that does reinforce what we were talking about earlier in the show about how like Kishibe's rank isn't like entirely based on his like capability. It's like a combination of like his capability, his experience, his tenure, and like his connections, or like just like how many jobs he's completed. But there could be someone way stronger than him inside of this, faction that just doesn't have the experience, or hasn't ranked up, or hasn't like been there long enough, or something like that.
And you always have to take in consideration that Kishibe's old, which means something in anything, but especially in Chainsaw Man, when he has 3 contracts with 3 devils and what he's had to give up to use those contracts. As an old man, as a devil hunter right now, they even said this man doesn't have anything left in his body to give a contract right now, so he can't basically even use his fucking contracts. And so Kishibe is a shell of his old self, clearly. And that was so impressive how much he was working fucking Denji in power when he was training him, like all with physical ability and experience. And so like you really got to take that into account there. But I mean, public safety's best. I mean, they're all got to be humans, right, with devil contract, because Division 4 is the only division that has fiends and hybrids. I believe it's kind of weird.
It's good logic.
I really want to say just a little bit more about that, is that Prinz isn't in Division 4. Yeah, she was. Okay, they're all in Division 4. Okay, yeah, they definitely are. I just for some reason just feel like Prinz is special because she's Makima's like
right hand fiend.
Sure.
Yeah, it seems like it. But yeah, no, that's right. But that kind of doesn't. It's weird with me, I guess. But actually, maybe Prinz is dead too. I don't know. It's hard to say, because did they say that Prinz was dead when we went over the recap of everybody that died in hell? Because Prinz was there, definitely got limbed, whatever.
Yeah.
But
then she unzipped herself to let like Makima come in. Does that mean she's dead there?
Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah,
that's a very hard question.
No idea in the story.
That's an unknown for me.
Yeah. So I don't. It seems like maybe Aki wouldn't have the authority to request that, but maybe so. I mean, whatever. That's neither here nor there, I guess. I mean, but that's kind of what I was thinking.
In terms of Aki, like what I love in this chapter is when Aki is meeting with Kishibe, right? And he gets his cat back or whatever.
Yes.
There are these panels of Aki, just Aki's face, are beautiful and amazing. I mean, they're simple, right? But you can tell.
You can feel so much emotion in such a simple drawing.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can tell that like he is very much starting at like page 10 in the Jump Plus app or whatever, like Manga Plus app. Like he is obviously very much struggling with what he wants to tell Kishibe. He wants to tell him that we want to withdraw from the Gun Devil mission, and he's like one panel looking down, one panel looking up, one panel looking down, 2 panels looking down, 3 panels looking down.
Yeah.
And then he's finally...
You don't even see his eyes in one of these without dialogue.
Right. Yeah. He is like just really struggling, and he has thought a ton about what he's about to say, because this is his whole thing. You know what I mean? His whole thing 100%. Is going after the Gun Devil, and he's about to say the one thing you never expect, which is, I don't want to do this anymore.
And Kishibe can read exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And is like
he even threatens him. Yeah. He even like threatens him a little bit, like, just so you know, if you do this, we are not going to tell you anything anymore about the Gun Devil, and you might wait years until you even know that the Gun Devil is even dead. Yeah. And it's like, damn, dude, you really want Aki in this.
And then Aki's like, you want to know what? Like, I've come to terms with that. And Kishibe's like, oh, all right, kid. So like, what made you change your mind? Dead Denji, dead power. That's my favorite page in the whole fucking chapter. I got cold feet. I got chills just now, like reminiscing on it. I'm looking at it again right now.
100%.
But like, when I was just like, dude, that is so fucking well done, dude. Fujimoto.
Amazing.
I'm really glad you highlighted that, because that segues into my whole thing. And
go ahead.
So, I guess I can start off right from the where Kishibe says, you know, and Aki's thinking of this as he's walking away, like, you've gotten a lot saner, haven't you?
Yes, bro.
So that's very, very important, because the one who said that to him is Himeno, and he's still carrying the burden of Himeno's death. And when he's thinking about Power and Denji, he's thinking of them as his family now. Like, they've replaced, and that's why this was all symbolic of him going to visit the grave and them coming with him, the whole thing. And the thing that really ties it together, which is crazy to think about this, what ties all this together is the puking, because Himeno puked first in Denji's mouth. Like, and it's like,
wow.
It's like, it comes full circle. It comes full fucking circle.
Dude, I almost quit the book when I saw that for the first time. Like,
me too.
I told you guys that. I was like, what the fuck am I reading right now?
I was laughing my ass off.
I would have been so mad if
Eagle
I did
thought it was hilarious when we read that.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you're a fucking psychopath.
I mean, it is hilarious.
I mean, it is.
That shit was funny.
I was mad. I was mad about that. And then someone on Twitter,
a
colorist on Twitter, like, colored that. And I was like, what are you doing? There's like green shit, and like he had
doing
like,
God's work out there.
He had some corn and like some bones and shit in there, and I was like, bro, you're a fucking maniac.
This manga is a maniac manga. It's perfect.
True. Yeah, all right, fine. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so could the death that the future devil foresaw within Aki is that he's going to find his family, he's going to find peace, and that he cares about these people so much that he finds a purpose in life, and he's still going to die from all of his contracts. Like, he's just going to live a life of regret at this point, where it's like,
I could live happily with my family that I have,
but not really. No, he can't. It's a lose-lose. He can't live happy with his family
because
he's going to die in a couple of years.
But he wants to finish his remaining years with his new family that he's come to terms with, and he cares more about these people than like the gun devil revenge.
But he's going to be filled with regret that he could have had this light. Like, he could have got past his family dying if he would have gave it some time, maybe, and found a purpose in life. And that's what he's done now. He's found a purpose in life. He's found a will to live. But he's not going to live, no matter what. I mean, I guess I can't say no matter what.
Angelmon's still here.
As we know right now. And your Angelmon theory could always come in. But
I think what you're talking about, like, was really that could have been exactly what he was thinking about. Aki was thinking about at the hotel in Hokkaido, looking out into the snowy, landscape with a beer. You know what I mean? He might have been thinking exactly what you're saying right now. I could totally imagine him thinking, "Fuck, what have I been doing? Like, was this even worth it?" You know what I mean? And then, of course, it leads directly into him talking to Kishibe. Wow.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, okay, the future devil did say, okay, I'm only giving you my ability. All I need to do is rest in your eye, and I just really want to do this because I want to see the worst, outcome you're going to have. You're definitely going to have the worst type of death, which when you hear that, you think it's going to be not that type of death, that it's going to be like a inner struggle, that he's going out regretting all his decisions, wishing he could stay and spend more time with Denji and Power. Like, you don't think that with the dialogue that we got from Future Devil. You think, he's about to get, tortured to death, and all of his, fingernails are getting ripped off one by one, and all the worst torture all the way to death. Like things like that. And I don't know, like that's initially what you would have thought, but I mean, that would really turn it on its head with that, because I don't think a lot of people maybe nobody would have taken that dialogue that way, and that would just be a great flip to that, but if he also has some terribly fucking gruesome, not it would be more than gruesome, it would be despair that he would be feeling from deaths from his friends, that his new family, I mean, that all makes sense too, that could happen to him. But yeah, I mean, hey, some of those options are out there. That's definitely it's the reflection you see in him really feels like that's where he's at, and it's that you've gotten saner is just so important, because
huge quote.
Himeno is the one who beat him over the head with it. Like, sane people do not live in this business. Like, if you're sane, you will not make it.
That's right.
Very, very important. Very important.
Wow.
And you can't end this. Oh, Noxie, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Aki barfs at the end. and completes the circle. God,
I just love this.
Dude, Fujimoto.
'Tis a complete catastrophe.
Yes.
Now we've all barfed. It's like a sitcom, like you were saying. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then like the audience laughs, and then it's like the slow pan out with like the studio audience and shit.
The credits roll.
Yeah,
the credits roll.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like that symbolizes family complete. We are family now, officially.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. Tatsuki Fujimoto is such a fucking genius, dude. I can't believe. I'm so mad at myself, just like Kiko was so mad at himself that we judged this story. And I feel like Fujimoto knew that people would and was like, I can't wait for people to think that this is some bullshit, because wait till I hit you with this symbolism, this visual storytelling, this fucking entirely compelling everything about this fucking story is just so, like, once you understand what it is like just one of the most captivating and like enthralling series that I think I've ever read in my life.
Very high reread value.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Too.
Oh yeah.
Very
and like you're always gonna have
value.
high reread value in a series that like focuses on visual storytelling as much as this does. There's so many like comic books that I've read that have no dialogue in them. You know what I mean? Like well, not like whole comics, but like a whole chapter will literally have no dialogue, and I'll go through it for the first time and be like, that was so cool to get a chapter with no dialogue, and then like, you know, 15 chapters later, I feel like they're referencing something from back then, and I didn't get any exposition to remember it going into the future. So I'm like, let me go back and like look at that, and I see all of these fucking, you know what I mean? Like all of these clues and all of this foreshadowing, you know what I mean? And it just makes it a really good callback when you do it that way. And that's what Fujimoto's clearly going for here. And it's just so beautiful to see it in Jump right now. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's all I had.
That's all I had too.
Yeah, me too. Hell yeah.
Alrighty then, with that, we can jump into Chapter 180 of the Promised Neverland. Your Everything.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So there was a catch to the promise.
Yeah.
As we all kind of expected. Everyone, the whole world expected.
Now, I saw something on Twitter that said that this chapter, and obviously you got to take that shit with a grain of salt if it's not official, but like, saw something on Twitter like right after we got done recording the last episode that said that this chapter of the Promised Neverland was going to be the last one. Obviously that wasn't true. And now I'm seeing other things that are saying the next chapter is going to be the last one. I'm just going to decide to just like stop trying to listen to things like that and just wait to see what the story does. But honestly, I mean, if it does end in one more chapter, what's the next chapter going to be? Because obviously the end of this chapter is like okay, well, I mean, I guess we could wait till we get like to there in the conversation, but I mean, like, the only thing that I had to say about this chapter, and I might as well get it out of the way now, is that like Emma at the end is going into the same area in Marketplace that Ray and them are coincidentally at. So if the demon god is going to say you're never going to see these people again, why put them so close to each other?
So, no, it's just it's nonsense. It's straight nonsense.
I guess we don't know like how close they really were because she's in like a fucking like, you know, like
she's on she's on a top tier. Well, they're on the ground level.
Why wouldn't you just put one?
They're running for their train.
They're running for their train. Yeah, but why wouldn't you just put one group on one side of the planet and Emma on the exact polar opposite side of the planet? To make sure.
No, they were on like this is months later. This is
months later.
Months later.
But,
but still,
get an idea of how
bullshit.
Far
you can't scour an entire globe, the entire Earth in months to find someone you know nothing of where they don't know anything about Earth at all.
Yeah.
Except for books. You know what I mean? Like it just
it's hard to say. They did have the fucking Ratchery guy come on a fucking space hovercraft. So like, who knows?
We don't know what kind of technology they got. Yeah, wow.
It's hard to say.
You think we're gonna get that explained?
No, hell no. And I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here because like at the end of the day, the only reason I'm saying that is just because I don't know. At the end of the chapter, I mean, it does feel like there's going to be more chat. I feel like they are going to miss each other, but I don't know if they don't. If fucking Ray turns around and says, "Hey, that's Emma over there," and they run and they grab her, that's terrible. Like I mean, and
regardless of what happens, it's probably so awkward that they're so close to each other. And I mean, if they are going to be that close to each other, then like it makes sense that the series is going to end very soon.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would you put them that close to each other if you don't want to make an arc out of this? I mean, you could do it whatever way you want, but I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Well, and we're trying to wrap the story up. So, of course, like, we're going to just start fitting these puzzle pieces together. You're going to be putting fucking, square pegs in fucking circle holes at this point to try to just get the fucking, story done. So, like, I can't fathom where this is going at all.
I just don't see where it's going at all, and it's fine. I actually am not like totally against this storyline, but it's like, assuming it's going to end, I'm just like, what is going to happen here? Like, how are they going to turn this from sheer nonsense into something that makes sense? I don't know.
Do you think that, so like, I guess my big question for this chapter is that I want to ask you guys, because there was a lot, even though like the ending is kind of like weird and awkward and like nonsensical, like the paneling and the dialogue with Emma and this like bearded old man and whatnot is like, it was fun.
Yeah,
like this
was cool.
It was cool to read. So like the only real criticism I have is obviously the ending, but like, do you guys think that Emma, if she does run into the kids again, is going to remember who they are?
Yeah, probably.
Or do you think like, I feel like it would be a way better ending if she ran into them and was still like, I don't know who you guys are anyway. You know what I mean? Like, let me just like live my life without you guys.
She's having like semi flashbacks, like dreams and stuff.
So
and
it's heavily implying that she's gonna remember. Yeah, it's gonna click once she sees them. Yeah.
And the picture has had all the kids erased out of that Polaroid.
I saw that.
You know, that was fairly cool. But it just reminds me of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like Back to the Future to me,
Yeah.
where the people start fading out of the Polaroid, and then whatever. Once he's aligned the future back, you know, they kind of pop back in. I kind of thought like that would be kind of what would happen with Emma once they do meet up. Is that the Polaroid fills back out. Oh, all my friends are here. Yeah, we did it. Great. End of story. Let's get out of here.
Going back through this dialogue, this is actually a pretty well-written chapter for the events that happened. The dialogue, like between her and this man, is really really well written. Like you can still see, like it's not that Kaiju Shirai just forgot how to write everything just because the compelling nature of his story is gone and he's like ending it poorly in our opinion. He still can write his ass off in these interactions. I feel like when it's not plot driving like twisty shit, you know what I mean?
I am not going to believe that this is well written until it ends and I can see the whole picture, because right now I don't see it.
I just don't.
I mean, like week to week is the most frequent that we get this pace, the pace.
Oh, I get that, but like the last
yeah, but I mean, like just controlled inside of this like self-contained chapter specifically, this conversation, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a pretty good conversation.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I liked it. Yeah, I like this old guy. I like this specific chapter besides the ending and the context of the whole arc or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And we jumped way to the end, but like just we didn't talk about the promise at all. I mean, we maybe touched on it lightly, but I feel like this is so like just I feel like everybody and their mom predicted that the promise is you're going to lose your family in some way, or it's going to have to do with your family, because that's the only thing that's important to Emma, right? Like so, like you know, like that just seemed like everybody guessed that shit. Like that
was it even revealed? Wasn't that not hashed out already?
It was two options, right? It was either the fucking demon just said, "I'm good. I don't need anything from you," which was like kind of implied. You know, the last time we saw the demon, which was when we were really complaining, like, "Oh, really? It's going to be that safe?" And then we find out Emma lied. So it was either the demon really was telling the truth and there was no more to it, which is kind of trash, or there was a stipulation or a caveat that like Emma was hiding from everybody else. Which is what we see here,
If this was a reveal that family was what the wish is for, it was such an obvious reveal that it didn't even register me as a reveal. It almost felt like a flashback, because obviously that was the trade. You know what I mean? Like, what could it have been besides
I was so
this?
ready for the demon to be like, all right, bet all your fucking people can go to the human world, but I'm eating you, Ray, and Norman. What's up? What are you gonna do? That's the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm eating your brains. And then your people can go. Are you going to make that
I have nothing more to say about this chapter.
Yeah, me neither.
Y'all can keep going.
I'm good.
So with that, then, we can probably just move right into chapter 253 of Buraku Kuruba. Bloodshed.
Oh, yeah. Chapter was amazing.
This chapter was pretty lit.
This is the most excited I've been for a Black Clover chapter in a while.
It was good.
I like most of it. It was pretty cool.
The ending is really what has me like.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about the ending. So let's talk about not the ending first.
So how about the actual like rules being stated? Things actually happening with each other. The water shouldn't be able to, like she shouldn't be able to coagulate her blood in the water, and she still can. That's showing how strong she is. Like this is definitely was supposed to deliberately counter her. And it's not really, and it's even cool to see her grab the lance with the hand that's not the devil hand, because that's her blood power as her natural curse, and she's, I assume, injecting blood into the water lance and trying to clot it, to stop it. So I was like, hey, that
was cool.
A little bit of a page out of some Jujutsu Kaisen a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you don't really think that that's too close together. Like that was actually, I'm looking at your paper moment.
Right. I mean, the only criticism that and it's not even really a criticism, it's just like a funny question that someone asked on Twitter that I was like, oh yeah. But I mean, like, do you think we're ever going to get any information about why Vanica can breathe underwater for as long as she can?
It's not water, it's magic.
Well, hey,
it's not true magic, so it's not really water.
Right, but then if water is
I don't know. I'm just giving
water is your affinity, like what's the point of having water as your affinity if you can't drown someone with it?
So here's the thing.
Great point.
Yeah.
In all shonen manga, I just apply the Dragon Ball Z rule to all of them until proven otherwise, which is they have such great physical strength and physical feats that they can hold their breath for a half an hour.
But she's shouting with her mouth open this whole time.
Yeah, holding their breath and talking.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to take that one.
It's not water. It's just a magic goo that's like water.
So
okay,
I don't behaves like water in regard to like water pressure, in regard to the
no.
But it doesn't have to drown. You can't drown.
Skip.
So there's oxygen in water. Maybe with her blood magic, she's like directly pulling the oxygen bubbles into the blood.
And she's breathing through the blood.
And Noelle can do that too because she uses water magic, so she just gets it for free.
Yeah, you just gotta assume. You gotta assume the mermaid.
Do you have to assume
the way Nick said that was so funny to me for some reason.
If you're gonna wear mermaid armor and you're gonna be underwater for a long time,
mermaid armor might give her water breathing. I would actually be okay with that. I would actually be okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's what I'm saying.
There's no water breathing in this scenario because Vanica can also do it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're hey.
Except for the blood, the blood and oxygen carrying, I think, is actually a good, similar evidence or whatever.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there because I'm gonna just have nothing but good things to say about this chapter for the rest of the time. So you had a point.
I can. Well, no. I could do some more here before we get to the end. Do we think Vanica is the one that cursed Aesir, Noelle's mom? Or was it a previous user of this devil? Megicula, yes, because Vanica obviously looks young, but with blood magic and whatever, maybe there's some kind of age not regression, but like you just don't age as fast or whatever it is. Something to do with age. Like that would be fine. But the thing that is stands out to me is that Dante did say that Vanica's gotten stronger, and that he was okay with her doing this mission alone now because she has gotten stronger since the last time they went to Heart Kingdom. And so, like, that makes sense to me that Vanica is not the one that would have cursed her, and she is still learning this, and that she can only use whatever it is, 70%. Yeah, which certainly... I mean, actually, that's probably for the end. I'll wait for that. But but yeah. So, I mean, I personally don't think. I think it's she's like a new inhabitor of this devil, and that Dante is really, I think, the only one who has had the devil the entire time. I think Xenon has also been given the devil by Dante, and there could have been a previous user to his devil as well. But I mean, that's too much speculation right there for that. But definitely for Vanica, it makes sense. That she's not the actual one that did curse Noelle's mom, because that's how Noelle's mom died.
So to confirm, Megicula is blood or curse?
Curse.
So her magic is blood.
Her magic
which is
blood,
why I was kind of thinking that she, maybe, even though she's from Space Kingdom, maybe she's not. Maybe she was pulled from the witches, because the witch queen had blood.
Oh, okay. So it's just like a combination of different like curses, like anything curse related Megicula can do. So she curses her allies with immortality.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I was wondering why. I was wondering like where the revival aspect like came from her, like devil power, when Like we've only really known it to just be like
when it was stated it was the curse that was reviving and not blood magic too, because if blood magic is reviving people, you could, you know, do some whatever mental gymnastics to fit that in for you however you want. I mean, I don't have the science. I'm not gonna be the guy behind that, but so
but that's cool then. Yeah, that's fine. That reminds me of Marvel Comics too. That's like a thing in Marvel Comics, like cursing people with immortality so they can't die. That happened to Thanos, Deadpool. But continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of really it, I guess. I mean, other than stuff at the end, but like Tabata really snapped on the fucking crying panel, of course. And
yes, like, bro. Oh my god, that was beautiful. And all the art in this chapter is beautiful. We know he can draw
his ass off.
And he can draw his ass off, but like the choreography too inside of like Noelle versus Vanica with the slashes,
Noelle versus Vanica,
the increasing percentages, her swishing whoosh through the fucking blades and shit. Wonderful. That's gonna be one of the most expensive episodes that they've fucking done, probably.
There are a lot of pages in this chapter.
Yeah.
A lot of pages in this chapter that are high quality pages, like very good drawing, high action.
Yeah.
Dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like last week when Eagle was talking about how like Lolo Pachica like seems to have the knowledge of previous, you know, princesses in that little like headspace, you know, flashback like scene or whatever that it was. We actually get that confirmation in this chapter that all of the previous spells that princesses have had or queens of Heart Kingdom have had exist in her grimoire. So that was cool to get that confirmation there, because like that was a little bit, you know, of contention last week. Yeah, it was vague, and then like we kind of like were having like an exchange about like the legitimacy of that last week, I feel like too. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything else about this before we get to the?
I really like the moment at the end with Nero. You know, just
dude. That's what like
I almost had forgotten about her presence here, and she just kind of comes in at the end and flexes.
So let me my main issue with this chapter is this scene, and so let me form my issue in the form of a question to the three of you, because I literally do not understand this scene, and so here's what I don't get. I don't get the ceiling, because they, as it leads up to the ceiling, they kind of say like the reason Nero has been hiding is because they're waiting for Vanica to use the full extent of her Delo power.
Yeah.
And so she said audibly in the battle, like, I'm gonna use the whole thing, like as far as I can go, 70%. You know what I mean? And then they're like, oh, perfect timing. Let's do it. Why? Why does she have to be using all of the devil power she can?
I want to answer that first.
So let me continue a little bit.
Yeah.
For the record, I will be furious if she goes, oh, actually, I can go to 75. I can go to 8 and break out. I will be absolutely furious if that's what happens. Now, but if she breaks out, it will cheapen this entire scene. The scene is very cool drawn, very well drawn, very awesome, like reveal, like sneak attack or whatever. If she breaks out, it completely ruins the scene. It cheapens it. If she doesn't break out, why did they need to wait until the 70%? So please tell me.
I think my answer for the reason why you want to wait till 70% is because at least what I thought when I first saw this is like, okay, if you seal a not complete percentage of what she's able to, like, you want to get the whole devil out of there. Like you want to seal the whole devil. If you leave any amount behind, it might not work. The spell's potency for the seal might not work because it's not like completing, you know, whatever circuit that, like, because there could be a condition on the seal that, like, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it. It made a lot more sense in my head when I first thought of it, because like now I'm thinking about like, okay, so if you get 65%, how could the remaining 5% help you? You know what I mean?
But
so like,
I guess what you're saying there is that like whatever the sealing magic targets, it targets a very specific amount. Like it's almost based on what the enemy has.
That's what I was going to say.
So it's not Nero's ability at all. It's the opponent's ability determines the strength of the ceiling, which is nonsense.
Is it nonsense? I don't know.
Isn't it nonsense?
I mean,
that if I'm weak as hell and you're super strong, I seal your strength of magic? That doesn't make any sense. It's my strength of magic that seals.
What else does she really have though? Like, it's just the thing. Like, if you're really weak in so many ways and you really only got sealing magic, like, I don't know. I don't think it's like biggest stretch to give her, but only,
it's like a wall, right? Sealing is like a wall. You're building a wall around someone.
Yeah. There
and
still has
is
to
it
be
a strong
limit,
wall or a
though.
weak wall? That's your ability.
There still has to be a limit, and I think that since Sekre has already done like big sealing with, I mean the Wizard King, the first Wizard King, and stuff like that, like that she does have, like there's definitely a ceiling to what she can seal to me, you know, like, and I was taking it as if we don't see what Vanica has at 100%, we don't know if Sekre could really seal her, because I still think there's a ceiling, but I also do think that if you seal her at 40%, even if you could seal her at 70%, maybe the seal's just weak because of the way the magic's applied, weaker, and that additional 30 is enough to break out of it.
Yeah, that was my reasoning when I first saw it. I was like, okay, so you wanted to obviously like bring as much of her devil out as possible so that you could seal as much of her devil as possible when you use this spell. And I was thinking, okay, so if you only seal half of it, the other half either break it out or like escape and like go regenerate the rest of itself later or something like that. You just want to make sure you get all of it at once. If it is like a symbiotic thing, or if it is like a, you know, like a Majin Buu kind of thing where you have to evaporate every cell.
I guess like as you're saying that, like it makes me think like, can you seal something that isn't there?
That's another thing I was.
And so like if she's only brought out 30% or 50% of her devil, maybe you can only seal 50% of her devil. And then when she says, I've brought out the entire thing, now you can seal the entire thing, but you know, she's going to break out, right?
Or
like,
maybe
yes,
maybe letting her get to her max potential and then sealing it is what cuts off. Maybe that like maybe that's not shit to Megicula, but it just severs her connection with Megicula. So now she's just a mage with blood magic, and Megicula has to find a new conduit, which like could probably like take time if it's separated for long enough. This is just a stopgap measure to like bring her fighting power down long enough to handle her in a regular mage form. And it's not like a tried and true Megicula is all the way out of here seal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my only criticism of this chapter.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all respond to that and talk.
Yeah,
what
do you
think? Do you think it's
I think
different?
Vanica's is closing the running for taking my spot for waifu, you know what I'm saying? She's coming close up on Mario Leona.
Mario Leona? No way.
I just love these.
How do you think this battle's gonna go?
Women,
well, I'll tell you one thing. I really like Vanica here.
Whoever audience in the audience is here for their very first time in this episode doesn't know the history of Mario Leona with Eagle. It's a very jaw-dropping statement he just fucking made here.
Yeah.
Vanica's in the running for top waifu?
Man.
Stop it.
So all right.
I thought you were just asking me what else I think, but what do you
think about the situation?
Yeah, like do you think like how is she? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe how do you think the fight's gonna go after this chapter?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, that's much better.
It's tough to say. I mean, you know, I guess I agree. I agree with Nick. It's like you don't really think it's done.
Yeah.
But
and if it is done, she got 2 chapters.
It might be a little anticlimactic, right? So
yeah, she's not done.
She got 2 chapters. Yeah, she can't be done.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want her to just like debo out of this like brand new. Because this is the first time. Keep in mind that we've seen Sekre use like powered up sealing magic with runes,
with
mana method type shit. So it's she kind of needs her moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we just really see, like, maybe they do successfully seal however much the devil Vanica has access to, and, like, she still just turns the fuck up with her fucking...
Yeah.
So is the blood magic the devil?
No, it's the curse magic.
The blood magic is hers.
Or curse magic.
Curse magic is Megicula, and then blood magic is... Okay, so maybe Tabata knows how awkward this seems, and, like, we're missing something. And then that one like possibility that like we think we've covered all the bases, we think we have all the logical like possibilities for the next chapter, and then like boom, new lore explains like something crazy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Here's I don't want to explain. I guess like what's okay. I'm just kind of changing my opinion maybe a little bit on this now that we're thinking about it, and I think that the sealing magic is literally going to seal the devil away from her.
That's what I was saying.
Separate.
Separate. So that she will be able to break out with blood magic. She will be able to continue to fight on her own with her own blood magic at this point.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, okay, that is what you said. Okay.
Yeah, I was saying maybe this is a stopgap measure to just
severs the link between
separate her from Megicula, so she's just a regular mage, and they could beat her up while she doesn't have access to her devil.
Okay,
that's what you were saying, right?
That is exactly what I'm saying, but I must not have been listening to you say that because I'm like looking at the panel, like reading again, and I'm like, I don't know. But that's.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
maybe it's on a timer. Maybe it's absolute. It's like perfect cube, but it's on a timer. And then like they have to beat up Vanica before the seal because like honestly, like if you're gonna hype these devils up this much, regardless of runes and Sekre being this tight, you don't build a threat up this much just for this to be a one shot.
Right,
you know what I mean?
In this very moment, like this feels like a fucking very fast train headed straight into a brick wall because like there's a lot of things here where you're looking at it like don't really want that to happen, or like it doesn't really make too much sense, or like but now at the same time like this, and it's like there's so many fucking things going on here where
like
you're
no
like,
matter what happens, it's gonna be weird unless this is literally just a stopgap measure. Separate the mage from the devil so that you only have to deal with the mage while the devil is like cooped up in this fucking block for a minute. Maybe that's not permanent.
I like that.
Yeah, maybe it's not permanent. There's a timer on it. Maybe they actually like fail somehow, you know, like, and then the timer goes off and she gets the devil back.
It just symbiotically jumps back on her and we are Venom, you know?
It could be something like that. I feel like that would be the best way for it to go. But I mean, like, if this is, like, Vanica's done, trash. If this is Vanica instantly breaks out and has Megicula back again, even more trash, probably. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
But
both
like,
those.
So, how about, I did think of an alternative here. And I'm going to tell the dumb one first, because I actually got two. The one that, because Nick already said, like, okay, if this was a bluff the whole time, and I have more than 70%, I have 80%, and that extra 10% allows me to break this. I was just thinking, too, like, since she has an eye patch, if she rips her eye patch off to get the strength,
to
like
get the Sharingan?
No, like Kenpachi. No, because of the bleach.
Kenpachi.
Just like I said earlier with the kind of the Jujutsu Kaisen kind of tie-in with Bleach, you know. I don't know. That one's dumb, and I don't think that's gonna happen. That's stupid.
Please no.
And if that happens, that's real bad.
I wonder if Snooty reads Black Clover. He'll just die at this part.
But what also now makes sense to me is that she does not break out, and she's not dead, and she's sealed, and they got her captive for a while, and she's going raging in that bitch trying to break out the devil, you know, the whole time. And then they try to fucking, you know, have to, I don't know, get her back somehow. I don't know. It just forces the fucking Spade Kingdom to move in a direction maybe they don't want to move, which might add a little bit more element to the war that's going on, kind of. That they're not just going to they're not just going to dictate everything right now. They now have some you know, chips in the pie or whatever. That wasn't it.
They may lose some battles, so they gotta change their strategies a little bit.
Chips, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
At the same time though, it's like Megicula is like the secondary objective to this whole thing is like to kill Megicula, get him out of here because he's got the princess cursed.
Yeah. So
like you would want to deal with that sooner rather than later, right? Like because
maybe they can't. Maybe it's the only option they got, and they're waiting for reinforcements to come do something else. I don't know.
Well, I'm saying like if you do separate the devil, why not just kill it? Or like if there's a way to.
But can you though?
Yeah, because think of how strong the word devil was. Like, I mean, and as far as we know, the word devil's not as strong.
Unless you have anti-magic and dimensional magic combined, like that's the only way we know how to deal with the devil right now. So like, I think the first Wizard King's magic was like involved in that in some regard too, if I remember correctly. But like anti-magic plus dimensional magic seems like a pretty powerful combination that not many things in the physical world should be able to deal with in any, or even this whatever plane this devil exists in. Like dimensional gets you there, anti-magic handles the rest. I don't fucking know, but like sealing magic, dimensional magic, anti-magic, those should be the only ways to deal with these things. You know what I mean?
We'll see. There isn't very many roads. Roads from here.
Because you can't burn it. You get to shoot fire at it. You know, I mean, I don't
even
know.
Pulling the devil out, like if you separated the devil, does it turn into full power fucking 100% Megicoola, which is going to be stronger than Vanica is anyway? Because
where's the rest of Megicoola if she only has 70%?
I don't think. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a dimensional thing. She can't pull it all from hell yet, or wherever the hell it's coming from. You know, like, I don't know.
I don't know, but
one interesting thing, kind of like not really related, but like, you know, y'all calling her Sekre, right? Is their name?
Yeah, that's her original name, and then Nero is the name.
But like Noelle calls her Nero.
Yeah, because that's what she's only known. That's what she's known.
Her name as a bird.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but like it's interesting. Like if they're friends now, you'd think that she would call her what she wants to be called.
Yeah, maybe she wants to be called Nero by these.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Good.
Alrighty. Well, with that, then we can go ahead and move into chapter 274 of My Hero Academia.
Yes,
this chapter's so big.
Yes, sir.
Search.
Let's get it.
There's a lot to unpack here, definitely.
Search.
I mean, who wants to start?
Well, I think we could start with Shigaraki definitely does not just have a wave of decay that he can shoot in any direction.
Correct.
Because,
yes. And I totally agree with that now. I see that now.
Endeavor put the pause on this man.
Yeah. He definitely understood that it's not a directional beam. It's a touching and anything touching what you touch kind of thing. Yeah.
But when I say he put the pause on this man,
he burnt his ass.
Not only did he apply DPS, but he also was very reactive in his defensive strategy in this fight, knowing knowing the capability of Shigaraki's attack.
Endeavor didn't just get hoed immediately. And he's still in the fight. There's
the panel of the hand coming and he just
no damage. Yeah, Endeavor didn't take no damage at all.
So before that though, something I find really interesting, that it seems like Shigaraki's motivation is now, based on the whole chapter, but starting right at the beginning, is get one for all.
Get one for all.
And it's really that's his motivation now, but it almost seems like he's being brainwashed.
Yeah.
By All for One.
Wow.
Or something to hint at what Kiko has been arguing for a long time, because it's coming in his mind. Get one for all. You know what I mean? It's like he doesn't give a fuck about this stuff. You know what I mean? Why does he care? But it's being implanted in his mind.
Thank you for doing this for me, because
I'm very interested in this.
This is really cool though, man.
See, I don't know. I kind of took it as a little more slight confirmation
why does he need
that
one
this
for
version that he has of All for One is the true version, because why would, unless he had this constant beckoning call in his mind to continue to chase one for all, why would All for One give a fuck?
There's only two options. There's literally two options. Either All for One, original All for One can communicate through the quirk to Shigaraki and is brainwashing him, or the quirk itself has this drive within it. There's only two options.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. That's exactly
he spawned the quirk, gave it to his brother, and it's the one quirk he's never been able to control.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me that he would have this innate call to bring that quirk back to him. But
who though?
Man,
who has the innate call?
Yeah.
Anyone with the quirk?
The quirk.
Yeah.
The quirk
itself
has the innate call.
So you're saying it's baked into the quirk.
It's All for One. Yes, it's All for One.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah, it's
and I just wish that
good,
All for One. I wish that All for One, the person, does All for One the person have his own name that we know?
We haven't gotten.
I just wish for the sake of conversational
AFO.
Yeah, I just wish that for the sake of this conversational atmosphere in review week to week, that this motherfucker had his own name, so that we could so that we could differentiate between All for One, the guy,
AFO for him,
AFO for him,
the guy.
Okay, AFO,
All for One for the quirk,
AFO for the guy, All for One for the quirk.
We just
Well, see, and for now at least, I think it makes sense because he's so old. And I think we will get a name for him when Deku gets a little more familiar with the inner vestiges of All for One, because obviously All for One's brother, AFO's brother, is in there.
Yeah.
So eventually, I do believe we will. What does the wiki say? He has a name.
The wiki calls him Sensei.
All right.
That's
that's
what
Shigaraki
Shigaraki
calls
All
it.
right, let's call him
So
Sensei
that's just.
then.
But I was saying there's no
better.
name. The
That's
wiki
easier.
says, AKA
Sensei's better.
Sensei.
Let's just call him
Sensei.
Sensei.
I do believe
Just like
though,
Master,
we will
just like
eventually
Master for Chainsaw
learn
Man,
his
we just
true
had to
name.
decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna decide what we're gonna use here. Yeah.
Sensei. From now
I like
on,
that.
we're calling
Sensei.
All for One the person Sensei. Calling All
Yes.
for One the quirk All for One.
But
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the paneling in this chapter was so fucking sick when he does this like whoosh-de whoosh like downward haymaker on fucking
Vocabulary
Shigaraki.
word of the day.
When he hits this little
Also the whoosh de whoosh downward haymaker bends
That's what I was gonna
the
say.
onomatopoeia, bends the
That's
kana of the sound effect. So sick!
That's what
I
was
love
gonna say.
that.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is,
Page 6.
yeah, dude, this shit was,
Hell yeah.
this shit was sick. And this is going to, and this is cool because like this is big AoE, you know, flashy fire damage that we can read in the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kohei's
It's-
turning
Well, and
the
this is
fuck
leading
up, man.
into
He's letting these panels breathe a lot more. He's using a lot more stark whites.
It's
to,
definitely better.
to
It's
balance out.
definitely,
You know,
definitely
like
better.
you know, like it doesn't feel as cluttered. You can tell what's going on a lot more. I feel like Kohei is a combination of like paying attention to like criticisms that he might be receiving. I don't know what Japan says, you know, about or what Japan's criticism of his comic has been so far. But like at least in the West, this has been one of the biggest complaints of My Hero Academia is the action paneling and the like him just not knowing how to let his panels breathe, the huge AoE damage attacks or damage like conflicts. So like now, like we can see like movements a lot better. He's using a lot more shading and stark colors to balance out the detail that he puts in these panels so that we can really see these movements. And I know exactly what's happening throughout this entire chapter, and it's amazing to see that growth from Kohei.
well, and the panels we were talking about before you went into that are leading right into the part of the chapter that I thought was probably the most hype.
What is it?
Because you know, I can't lie. When I brought this up a few weeks ago, y'all kind of shrugged me off.
All right, let's hear it.
I was a little bent.
Okay.
You know, but now I feel like we got confirmation because I was bringing up that 75%.
Yes.
I thought that 75% was that 75% of the quirks All for One had compiled had been transferred to Shigaraki before the computer
we
got
got
destroyed.
confirmation on that?
Which in my mind is confirmed this chapter because he is seamlessly using not only a regeneration quirk, but a
air blast quirk.
This second
blast.
one,
A laser
could
beam.
it could be Exlis's quirk. It could be.
Ooh.
But also it could be just another laser beam quirk that All for One has. So he's seamlessly
didn't it come out of his
using
hand?
quirks that he had never had before.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, without effort.
You're totally right
He
that
has
now
these quirks.
Shigaraki has some quirks.
At least a certain number of quirks that All for One.
Yes,
AFO
some number.
had
And I do
had
agree with
compiled.
you. My guess would be 75% of his quirks. Yes.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
Eagle.
It does seem more that way.
Props
I don't
given.
feel like I brushed you, and I don't feel like I brushed you off. Hopefully, I really don't think I was
Yeah, you
kind
did.
of on board for that.
No.
No. Hey, I'm trying to play both
If
sides.
me and
of the
Nick
fence
are
here
wrong,
right now.
you're wrong too by extension.
Hey,
Give Eagle his W. All three
yeah.
of us.
Oh yeah.
But-
No, definitely.
And
That's-
we
that's
all
just
take
double.
the L then too.
Yeah, I guess.
I take like
But
half
man.
of a W, half L. No. Anyway,
I honestly wasn't expecting him to blast his ass like he did, and Endeavor was like, damn.
Yeah, for sure. I am glad you brought up the quirks because I mean, I just want to focus on the super regeneration for a second, which we've only seen in Nomu, and we've only in AFO or Sensei. That's where we're going.
Sensei.
Yeah.
So it's an unknown original user, which I'm obviously you probably aren't going to give a background for every quirk you see that comes out of All for One. The compiling of quirks, but this one's been used a lot, so I felt like maybe we'll get something with that, and I feel like that might be
Maybe
important.
it was like a
Thing-
short, stubby Canadian man with like bone claws that come out of his fists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
I would, bro. If Kohei did that for me,
Yeah.
My Hero Academia top
You'd
one.
die.
My Hero Academia
Okay.
top one. Sorry.
All right, Bub. Well,
Bub. Yes.
Let's go.
Shigaraki's scar on his mouth hasn't healed, and neither has his fingers.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
No, he's always
That
going to
makes
need
sense.
the Carmex.
Yeah. If you
Which
get
you can-
regeneration after the fact, then it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense
definitely.
that it would heal that.
Yeah, definitely. But there's definitely more to it than that because
It does hint to say one thing quick. It does hint that All For One, Sensei got the regeneration quirk after he got fucking his face burned off or whatever. He has no face.
He has no face.
So he got that quirk after that.
And he doesn't even have any eyes, I don't think, even. So, like, does that mean that he has, like, a sensory, like, echolocation, like, kind of, like, quirk?
He does,
definitely
right?
has to.
He does.
Definitely has to have quirks. That, I mean, he
account for that,
But more so into that is that we've seen that the super regeneration cannot regenerate if you're, so this was anime only, but it's still kind of relevant because
what was it?
Carbonized cells. When the carbonized cells, when Endeavor used the blue flame
in the Hosu City incident arc.
The Hosu, and I don't want to put any credence in something that's anime only, really, other than the fact that we've seen with how All Might fought his at USJ, that he basically was hitting it before it could regenerate. As Bakugo, he's the one who analyzes.
Well, it was absorption and not negation. So if it's absorption, it has a limit.
Yeah, but he also had super regeneration, and he was regenerating, and it was saying that he couldn't regenerate faster than All Might was hitting it.
I thought the point that he was making in the Nomu and Yue, in that first attack in the beginning of the series, I think the point that All Might, like the conclusion that he came to was like, oh, so you're just absorbing my hits. You're not like, and then you're dealing with it after the fact. You're not completely negating my hits, which would make fighting you pointless. So I just have to keep hitting you until you reach your absorption limit. I don't think it was a regeneration thing at all. I think he just like it was mitigation, not regeneration.
I don't know. I went kind of back. I didn't go back firmly and look at that, but I was looking at some stuff that was saying that Bakugo said there was regeneration involved there.
Well,
and
Bakugo
we did see that
wrong. He's a kid.
Sure,
he's a child.
Definitely. But he's prodigy.
He
assesses
and still be
sure,
wrong.
Sure. Yeah. No. For sure. But I'm just saying, there's definitely you can play that both ways. You could play that both ways very fairly. Yeah. But regardless, we did see that Nomu regenerate. He did get hit with like maybe Todoroki's fire or something, and did regenerate. Hood had to get burned with prominence burn.
Yeah.
For him to finally be beat, because he was burnt. Like Endeavor did burn the shit out of Hood,
but wasn't he moving his brain around to like dodge the DPS?
No, he tore his head off and threw it to avoid the prominence burn.
Oh, but then he
was able to regenerate from his head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's it.
But yeah, just I think it's fair that, because the reason I'm saying this is because people on Twitter are saying that rules have been thrown out now because Shigaraki should not be able to regenerate through the fire because of how Endeavor has melted Nomu with it in the past, and the rules
that doesn't mean that any
there's a lot of different
flame
things.
attack is going to
beat him. Exactly right.
All For One,
he's
All
using
For One
AoE
literally has
sweeping attacks.
Yeah. It's not
and
the whole concentrated fucking like flash fire like.
And I'm not here to convince you guys this.
Oh okay.
But for the audience, I mean, like, isn't it also true that Sensei has had multiplication quirks? Like, here's my quirk times multiplication factor. So like maybe that Nomu only had regeneration and Shigaraki has regeneration times 3 or something, and it's like 9 times stronger or something.
Wow.
Well, and that was actually something that was confirmed by dialogue when we were seeing All For One fight. He was actually saying things like that. He was saying like, muscle such and such times muscle 3, like this and this times 5, this and this times 5. Combining it all together.
Yes.
That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Which is either a quirk that multiplies, which maybe doesn't make sense because it doesn't. What would it do? If you have only a multiplication quirk, but it could be.
If you could just do
multiplication
one for all anyway.
Right. But like the multiplication might be like I have 6 regeneration quirks. Regeneration times 6.
Different regeneration quirks.
I stole 6 people's regeneration quirks.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that could also be the multiplication.
Yeah. And another thing, just like for the audience, is that like with the prominent, I don't know, with the hooded Nomu, it was specifically made a point that like Endeavor was like, I have to completely incinerate every single one of this thing's cells. It was on some Dragon Ball Z cell shit.
Yeah,
like,
or some
if
Buu
there's
shit.
a single one of this dude's cells left, he can recover.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I got to incinerate every single one of these dude's cells. But even with the prominence burn, if there's just his head left, he can regenerate his whole body.
Right.
But he did incinerate every cell of what he was trying to. If the Nomu didn't throw his head, he would have died. My point is, here we don't really see all of Shigaraki incinerated to that degree, so it's not very outlandish that he is able to regenerate.
Gone and coming back though, like it's
Yeah.
gone.
Right, but the rest of his body, like Endeavor cooked the Nomu to like, nothingness.
Just because Shigaraki has like rapid regeneration on the cells that are left doesn't mean that like he can regenerate from a single like cell.
And it definitely, and I'm it sounds like I'm not making the same point as you, but I definitely am. This is definitely for Twitter users. Exactly right.
The responses I have are for those people too.
Well, and I gotta see where it just like Endeavor says there's like no way anybody should just be able to survive in this heat, right? And something like that, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
he has some crazy dialogue here where he says
it's
like
early.
I can't remember.
So is Flash Fire?
Yeah, he used the
Flash
curtain.
Fire.
It's a whole
Page
blanket.
5.
It's a whole blanket.
No ordinary person could function without protection in this heat.
Yeah.
Well, see, now I'm wondering though, like Prominence Burn is of a higher degree than Flash Fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he says it's a blanket of Flash Fire, not Prominence Burn. So Prominence Burn is what he used to kill the Nomu, which is of a higher degree than what he used to
Prominence
Shigaraki.
Burn is like his strongest move, I think, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not too outlandish that Shigaraki wasn't completely incinerated.
And I could be wrong about this, but I feel like Prominence Burn actually hurt Endeavor for him to use it. You know, that was one that really fucked him up for using it.
He can only fire it like once or twice, I think he said, and then after that he was like really sweating it, like, yo, I can't be doing this too much longer.
So yeah,
dude, this panel,
that's kinda
this to get one for all panel on page 10, where it's literally just like all white, but then like his eye and nose, and then all white again for his hair,
beautiful,
and then his lips, and then like you get his hand and like half of his ear. Oh, hey man,
come
on, bro, stop. Bro.
Let me bring us back a little bit actually, because there's something I want to say about page 8. Page 8. So
hold up.
Shigaraki has just hit Endeavor. Is there something you want to say, Eagle?
No.
Sorry. Endeavor, Shigaraki just hit Endeavor with the laser beam, and then he's by himself on the plateau, and he reaches into the box and pulls out his hand, and he also pockets some bullets. The anti-quirk bullets. I think this is phenomenal growth shown for Shigaraki, because he actually has a plan. He's actually doing something and taking these bullets. What is he gonna do? He doesn't need these bullets, but he knows that they're useful. He knows he should take them. In terms of strategy and future thinking. I love it.
Yeah, and he still like wants some like remnants of like
his hand, his costume
life
or
before the cocoon. So he's like,
where do we see that hand on him? Like that's that okay, we don't. That's the thing. Like
no,
we don't really see it anywhere. Okay, because that was the only thing that kind of was weird to me, that he grabbed the hand, but like we don't get to see any evidence. Like there's still a panel of like his whole body. You don't really get to see it on him.
He's just taking it. I mean, he pocketed the bullets. He could have pocketed the hand.
Yeah,
I am curious, like, because each of the hands on Shigaraki's body is a different, very specific person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And so, like, say for example, the one on the head is his father. Or the one on his neck is someone in particular.
The one on the back of his head is Nana Shimura, right?
I don't remember all of them. I'm just saying that like each one is actually a very specific person, and I wonder where Shigaraki is going to put this one hand he is taking.
I'm gonna guess it's
because
Nana's,
that would be indicative of which one it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's Nana's hand, because like when we got that one panel, or when we got that one page, once he actually like reawakened a couple chapters ago, it showed all of the people whose hands those were reaching for him in that dream sequence, and like showing you like which one it goes to. So like I'm pretty confident it's gonna be Nana's hand. That's my guess.
The next thing I wanted to talk about, which is the name of the title, Search, which is Ragdoll's quirk that was stolen. All for One stole it. So
Sensei.
it's
Sensei.
Sensei. Yeah, Sensei stole it. And then, so what you see, you see Shigaraki here before they show Ragdoll, to get all for one, and he sees the little stars or whatnot, and people have saying, oh, can you see the vestiges of All Might? And I don't think that's what it is. I think that's just the search quirk seeing heroes, and I can further back that up later in the chapter, because I may as well just do that actually. When you go to the end of the chapter, it's the 4th panel in, and it's you see the stars are moving.
Yeah, those are clearly heroes. Wait, people think those are vestiges of One for All?
I've seen people say that.
Yeah, well,
I didn't think that for a second. I was like, those are clearly just heroes.
The lights.
Yeah,
I agree with Kiko. I think those are the spirits of the other vestiges of One for All, because there's not.
No, he's saying it's not that.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was saying that.
And maybe okay.
I would agree with people saying that.
So how many?
There's 9 of them.
Let me tell you why.
How many are there?
There's 9 of them.
2,
oh
4,
shit!
6, 8, 9. Yeah, but so that's still weird, because so you see 2 of them moving away together in the front, which is Bakugo and Deku, and then you see one following them. Who's following them? Is it Uraraka or is it Shoto? It's one of those 2 for sure.
Yeah. I also think that like there's one specific star, if you want to call it that is different than the rest.
Yeah.
That's the current
Deku.
holder.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but like why Bakugo and Deku are moving together, and the special star is with one other star moving separately from the other ones, and the other ones are kind of in the same area. I don't know.
I mean,
it could be either way, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it does. Like what Eagle's saying, that one is.
Okay, I see what panel you guys are talking about where they're moving.
Yeah. I mean, because they've already bounced out. Yeah. They've already bounced out, and I mean, there's clearly individual people. Like, there's no way that's the vestiges.
I don't know.
Like,
I had not seen that panel
there's
where
way more than 9 people there.
Like if these
that counterpoint to that, but it is maybe he's looking at individual people that he already know, like, because the other part of Search's quirk, as Ragdoll's quirk Search, is she can, maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I remember that she like can not only search the people in the area, but kind of like home in on them and like find out their weakness or something, or find like a weakness that they have. Maybe that's headcanon. I'm making that up.
No, I think you're right. I think that's one of the main reasons that they wanted it.
And
the weakness aspect.
And those are all people that Shigaraki already knows.
But just like remembering.
Those are all heroes he's already encountered.
So like, if these are vestiges of One for All, then like I feel like if these were really vestiges of One for All, there would be no background and you would just see lights. But like the fact that it's like over like a map, kind of like confirms that like this is multiple people. Otherwise, why would all these lights be so far away from each other on such a defined space?
Well, and if you go back to page 10, there's 2 panels of the lights, and there you see that they're like 4-pronged stars, and then you have the full sun star basically, which is all for one, or
one for all.
One for all. Yeah.
There just wouldn't be this like clear like geographical, like
delineation. Exactly. And like
where these
I love
in the world.
Kiko, what you're saying about like that it's people that Shigaraki has actually previously met. It's like it's like instant transmission in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
It's not that you can just pick any specific energy source. You have to have met the person.
Yes.
I think I would be inclined to agree with that. Like if it's quirks and people he's encountered before, then he can see him like that. Because for a second I was thinking maybe it's an all for one thing where he can now like he's got kind of a quirk radar where he's got that kind of like eagle vision where he can like and he can see an indication of who has quirks. So he can yoink them. But then I was thinking, he's surrounded by many more heroes than just 9.
And
they all have quirks. So if he was seeing everybody who had a quirk, it would be
exactly.
Wow. Definitely. But so it is questionable that there is 9 of them. Like maybe that goes back to what Nick was saying earlier in the chapter, that he's being kind of brainwashed to pursue One for All, and that even though like this isn't what that is, maybe he kind of gets like these visions in his mind that way. That these are the vestiges, even though he knows they're not the vestiges. Shigaraki definitely knows what's going on from this. but yeah, maybe it's just some kind of like residual subliminal thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a two-pronged point because I wanted to get that one out of there because I feel like people have been saying that's what that is. And the other thing is, I mean, who's following him? You got Ochako looking off, but Shoto has to be it because it's Endeavor and Dabi can show up. Some shit can happen with all that.
Yeah.
Uraraka makes sense because her quirk does allow people to come off the ground though. And that Deku is only off the ground like by Black Whip
jumping.
and Black Whip. He's basically like Spider-Man and he can kind of Geppo, I guess, maybe a little bit. But
I feel like he could like. Well, I mean, he has Air Force, so I mean, even if he can't jump off the air with his feet, he can keep himself from hitting the ground with his hands. Yeah,
I agree.
Or
I agree.
He
could
feet.
do that.
I mean, I guess he could kick Air Force too, but
yeah.
Kick towards the ground and propel himself up. I think he could do that. Yeah.
It's just hard for me to choose whether that's Ochako or Shoto. I'm just really on the fence. I just feel like Shoto coming to the fight makes sense because he's also watching him run off, and he's like, hell no, like we interned together. That's my dad, probably. I mean, I don't know if he knows that, but like he should assume that his dad is
firepower at the source of the destruction. Who else would that be?
Oh yeah. I mean, can he see fire from? Yeah, I'm sure he can see fire from there. Yeah, I definitely didn't even take that into consideration.
So here's a question I have for y'all. Like, as we're getting to the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
And let's try and keep our answers very short. What I mean? Because this could be a very big conversation. but do the heroes even have the ability to beat Shigaraki right now? People have been talking about on, say, Twitter and generally like, is this the end of the story? And I would like to say, obviously not.
End of the story? Hell no.
But
the villains just win and then My Hero Academia is over?
No. Like, but that is the final Deku versus Shigaraki battle. No. I'm just saying.
One for all. Those people are idiots.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, what's the alternative? A time skip? How do you? You can't have a time skip if the heroes can't win. Can the heroes even win this battle right now?
So wait, you can't have
even in the future.
Wait, you can't have a time skip if the heroes can't win right now?
Yeah, because Shigaraki would win and kill all of them.
No. He doesn't have to kill all of them.
No, they could escape and fall back to a different country.
They can decide.
He would obliterate half the country by the time they regroup.
Yeah, but see,
he can kill cities in a minute.
Right, but that goes back to what we were talking about. He has a plan. He doesn't need to just, now that he knows that he can just, like, is that what he wants to do? Is just start just like indiscriminately destroying any city he walks into because he has expanded decay?
That's my question. Where is this right now going?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Well, see, now this is where
it could definitely go into a time skip even if the heroes don't win here, because Shigaraki can flex his power. Now all of a sudden you guys can't win. Leave me alone to my machinations, to my you know what I mean? So I can like
he really wants to blow shit up though.
I know he wants to blow shit up right now because like he understands that he's surrounded by enemies. You know what I mean? So like after that initial destructive wave gives everyone a reality check and everyone retreats. Now he's like, okay, where's my people? Let's go people. Let's go set up new shop. Let's go decide what our new like battle plans are for the taking over of the world or the country, whatever it may be. That's the time skip where he sets up his new empire while the heroes regroup, reset, find out how to deal with things X amount of months or years from now. And we go into like an age of,
But why would he do that if he can win?
Well, see,
can he win if they all decide
the heroes
to run
not
right
being
now?
able to win here?
Can he win if they all decide to run right now? So he can go chase down all of them and kill them.
He doesn't need to fight them. He can destroy everything.
Right, but then they can escape his destructive wave, and then he's just destroying his city, and then
moves on to the next city, and then moves on to the next city.
Right, but is that his plan to just like keep going and destroying cities until?
I'm saying you can't have a time skip if there's the character who can do that.
Well, see, now, yes, you can. It leads really perfectly into
motivation does play a part.
It depends on his motivations.
I agree with both.
Not just his maximum potential for damage and destruction. Like you're gonna turn Shigaraki, this character that you're clearly cultivating, to becoming the big bad of the villain that resembles All For One in some way. You're just gonna turn him into a DPS bot that just like doesn't care about anything.
He has said several times, I just want to destroy everything.
Yeah, that's right. But hasn't he?
So why wouldn't he destroy everything?
Hasn't he developed?
I think the heroes not being able to win here would lead very nicely into how I personally, and I know I brought this up on the show before, and I think Kiko has agreed with me. How I personally think the best way the time skip in this series could work out is, especially with the world building we've been craving, the heroes lose here, get run out of Japan, have to retreat to a new country to train and grow, and the beginning of the time skip, post time skip, is them as grown heroes saying, okay, now we're gonna start this fucking campaign to try and take back Japan because Shigaraki has taken that shit over, and it's an anarchist kingdom with him at the helm.
That's all assuming that Shigaraki,
and that would give us the world building we've been craving to other countries. We could learn about America, maybe Canada, fucking Russia,
that makes the
China,
most sense.
All types of shit.
That makes the most sense. But I feel like what Nick is trying to say is that if they try to retreat, Shigaraki's just going to chase them anywhere they go and destroy everything.
Or stay and destroy everything, either way.
With this jumping ability he just flexed this chapter, bro, he's chasing motherfuckers down.
Let me get involved here.
Yeah, Kiko.
No, totally fine. But so if Shigaraki does, if the heroes do get away and do, I agree with Eagle a lot that that's a decent way to take it, that if they are able to escape the country and the country does become ruled under Shigaraki, and it's maybe just anarchist world back to 100 years ago or whatever, what we saw society to be like, and you kind of get to see what that's like now in present day once that happens in present day, which would be fine, in that Shigaraki is going to amass, more than just
more villains.
Physical power. Yeah, more than just physical power, manpower, political power, world power, and could start to try to influence the rest of the world on a lot of things. Like that's not bad. It seems like a big jump for me, and I like that way, but we're just at the point though in Shonen, in all Shonen, and this one is you can't exclude it because it's a superhero story and it is handled differently with power scaling and stuff like that. But we are at the point where we are kind of now crossing this threshold of power escalation that is the downfall of a lot of Shonen where they don't handle it properly. And so Horikoshi to me is like, this is crunch time for you to make this shit perfect. And
I feel like we could be very confident that he is going to do that, because look at all the forethought he's put into everything else, that has been, a cornerstone of Shonen storytelling, that he's decided to say, I'm doing that differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
So why wouldn't
I do
in the same way if he has that much awareness?
Sorry.
No. If he has that much awareness, and then go ahead.
Yeah. I was say I do very much agree with what y'all are saying, that like just because Shigaraki hates everything and wants to destroy everything, if the heroes did retreat, would he chase them to other maybe?
When was the last time he said he wanted to destroy everything before he got all this development, right?
It's pretty recent. I think.
Pretty recent.
But,
okay,
but,
I guess I don't.
But regardless, would he even destroy everything if there are no heroes in his way? Wouldn't he try and find more villains? Yeah. People that agreed with his opinion that like the world is shit. Like, wouldn't he want to get more people like that? Yeah. So maybe he would try and like take over Japan, quote unquote, leading to a good segue into a time skip. Yeah. I think it's possible right at that.
And like, if he did say like recently that he just wants to destroy everything, it could just be the high that he's gotten like from like adrenaline and coming out of the cocoon and like seeing that
he has not said that since coming out of the cocoon. He hasn't said.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
I feel like it's. I think it's. But no. See, but I don't know why the cocoon would develop his personality. Like
no. Not develop his. I mean, like it's not just the cocoon that develops his personality, but since coming out of the cocoon, he's clearly having like a lot of like psychological, like information rushes from like this all for one situation. He has just like a new clarity, being like a new reborn person in general. So like his outlook is going to be information. I don't know
that doesn't involve quirks and all for one and one for all. Like, is he getting other information, like actually like experience implanted through him? I don't think
we don't have any specific information that states exactly how this cocoon changed him. You know what I mean? Sure. So like if he is like in like a comatose state where his brain is just off and he's vegetative, the entire time that he's in this cocoon, then then that would make sense that like where is this new development coming from? But at the same time, it's like we don't know what his experience in this cocoon was like for his psyche, because we never got internal monologue of him in this cocoon. We just saw him being operated on a thing, and then he's gone for like 17 chapters. So
felt like the development was before he got this and during like My Villain Academia. Like I felt like that's kind of where it might have been, where he's kind of changing, because you have the flashback there where he wants to destroy everything, and that's I'm sure I'm pretty confident he's saying in the flashback, but he's just a crazy kid with a crazy fucking decay quirk, and fucking everybody's betrayed him or whatever, you know, or his dad did or whatever, and kind of, you know, goes ape shit over it or whatever. And so like that makes sense. But I felt like just what happened with Redestro and seeing like the Redestro run shit in a capitalistic way, I don't know, just a far more calculated and way cleaner way to run business, babe. And that's what it was, a business, you know. And so I don't know, maybe so it's like, what if he like wins here, he destroys everything, the heroes run away, and he's like, I'm gonna go chase these motherfuckers down, and then his original team comes up and it's like, Shigaraki, like, what's up, like, we're still here, you're just gonna ignore us, you can go run on a DPS rampage, like, we got moves that we want to make with you, like, you're running the Paranormal Liberation Front, like, they're still all here. What about your team, bro? Yeah, you know what I mean? And he could be like, oh, my bad, I was tripping. Like, let's go do what we were trying to do. You know what I mean? I mean, he's under no obligation to, you know, I mean, I would say he has, at least his original League of Villains. His original crew, he does have an obligation. He doesn't necessarily have to fulfill that obligation. No, he doesn't have to fulfill that obligation. He can become a total piece of shit about that whole situation. But, I mean, but that's not really what he's been, he does, I feel like, at least subtly care for, you know, Toga and I feel like he definitely you know, does. Like Dob. I don't know about Dobby, but like, maybe not Dobby so much, and like maybe even like Spinner. I feel like they've been getting into like a little bit more arguments than everyone else. But I mean, like Compress, Toga, Twice are like his people. You know what I mean? So it's like, never know. Kurogiri, but I mean he's a Nomu, so But yeah, I don't know, but. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say? Next chapter. No, that's all I had. I'm good.
All right, then with that, we can probably just move right into the coup de grace.
Yeah.
The piece de résistance.
Yeah.
Chapter 981 of One Piece. Joining the fight.
One Piece. Okay, so this color spread. Wow.
Fire.
Wow. Say, we gotta go into this.
I love the colors. The colors on this.
Top 5 color spread. Sorry.
The abstract
pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This really might be my favorite. Like we've ever seen. I think so.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite, but it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely.
I think it really might be my favorite just because it's like it's everyone just vibing. You know, they're just cooling it, chilling, listening to music, killing. The one thing I have an issue with though, in this color spread, I feel like is a little bit of an inconsistency.
Don't blaspheme now.
Why is my man Zoro passed out from the alcohol when in Whiskey Peak? Him and Nami, they drank everyone under the goddamn table. Why is my guy passed out?
He could just be sleeping. He could just be sleeping, which he always does, and it just so happens to be a barrel of booze because that's his thing is to drink.
He's not drunk. He's tired.
Yeah.
There should be no one in this color spread still drinking alcohol with Zoro passed out other than Nami.
Who else is drinking alcohol with Zoro passed out?
This fucking bear. This fucking dog in the background. He's got the red rum.
And Chopper.
Chopper's drinking?
Where's Chopper's booze? He's in the very right.
Yeah, but no, where's his booze?
Well, he's got a joint.
It's the barrel. He's got a barrel holding it.
Yeah,
the barrel. Okay, I thought that was a part of his outfit for some reason.
No. And this chicken too. He has a mug as well.
Well, I don't think this is indicative of Zoro drinking too much and passing out.
Basically, Zoro's a pussy.
I think relax.
I did not.
I think Zoro is just like, you guys are loud as shit and annoying. I'm going to.
He's cool in it.
Can I say that I did not notice until right now, but Luffy is handing Sanji a record, Bink Sake. Zoom in. Yeah.
Oh,
it's Bink Sake.
That's fucking tight.
Yo, wait a minute.
See, the thing I want more of...
We can see if these other records say anything.
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
They don't.
The thing I want more from this color spread is what the heck is written on the DJ booth? Music doesn't have to something, a universal language, and be
music
translated.
Have to be translated. Or no, music doesn't have to be a universal language and be translated.
But like, there's missing words. I just want to know what all the words are. I want to know what it has to say.
That's a Viz thing. So we're blaming Viz for that.
Oh no.
And this record cover that Luffy is holding on the very forefront cover, it says every life has ST. I'm wondering if that has any is any type of homage or has any meaning, I'm not sure, pertaining to what's been going on in the world lately, Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know what ST would mean.
Right.
But
something
coming out of a saxophone. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe there's some musical reference there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. Sick color spread though.
But getting into the chapter, we don't get a color. We don't get a cover story. Do we ever?
Nope.
Do we not?
Nope. So
because we get the color spread, or no?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Sure.
Well, because we've gotten colors and the cover, so it's indicative of this. The cover story. The cover stories. It's over. Yeah, it's out of there.
Okay.
I mean, we got the
That's
rescue
true.
of Lola, and then we got the proposal of Lola to Gotti. So presumably they get married, and then that's Lola's dream wrapped up.
Did he say
and,
yes?
Did he say yes? Oh God. Anyway, going into the chapter.
Yeah.
Dude, it's got to be so annoying. Maybe not annoying, but it's just got to be so much for Oda to draw kid's combat.
Ability.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, look at how fucking tedious this looks to draw, bro.
All the components and just like metal shit, and it's like,
like that's half the week right there in this first page.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to know, like, I don't know. I guess they got some, machines with turbines and shit, but like, I don't know. I feel like the only time you see that is like Frankie making top tier shit. So like, where are these turbines and shit he's got on his arm?
Oh, where are they coming from? Sure.
Some pretty high tech machinery, it seems like.
It is. Is he gonna, just use a turbo booster, flying thrusting punch? I doubt it, of course, but like,
sure.
It looks like he's got the technology for it. Like that you mention it, I didn't notice that before. That's funny.
It's really cool to just flash forwarding a little bit. It's really cool to get the confirmation of Apu's fruit. That was really nice to see.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for that since Shibandi, and I'm just like super happy. Finally get the confirmation on that. I feel like that's been like a question that pretty much anybody has had since they've seen this dude. It's like when Shibandi comes out, the two fruits that have you like, what's that about, are Law and Apu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like, I will say though, for me, it's kind of disappointing, man, because I've always been like a really big low-key Apu stan because of like how like interesting his
sound
ability
could
was,
be.
like you
Sound
said.
can be.
Yeah. And the fact that it's like, you can just plug your ears, and like, obviously that limits your ability in combat if you're always having to plug your ears, but at the same time it's a little bit underwhelming.
You take away one of somebody's senses, that's a big deal in a fight.
Yeah,
that's just such an easy counter, man.
Especially in a war.
But not every fruit is good. You know what I mean?
But I suppose if you made it the other way and it was just whatever the sound can reverberate off of is going to be afflicted, it would be too good, right? Because like you emit a sound in every direction at the speed of sound.
Right.
It it's shooting out and it reverberates off of literally everything in the world. So it's like,
and like this having the ability to be sound based in terms of hearing is, I think, perfectly in line with like historical, long-term, One Piece Devil Fruit abilities. For example, like Enel's ability is countered by rubber. If you wore a suit of rubber, there's not a lot of rubber around, so no one does that. But if you wore a suit of rubber, you'd be immune to his abilities. Like Luffy's immune to his abilities. And like the elemental counter aspect has always been a part of One Piece, and this is just a nice example of, this is a sound ability. You gotta be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Too bad. Too bad for Apu.
Yeah.
Cortisone just can't be like, it totally renders Apu useless, right?
Yeah.
The silence
hard counter.
That
is a very good call.
Yeah.
Good shit.
And at the same time, this creates, a situation where let's see what kind of hockey Apu's got. Man. Can he box? Can he box?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Well,
and
that's I got something for that too. But
that's
what an incredible I just got to say one more time, like, what an incredible spot, Kiko, because like that is a great callback, because we get Apu's fruit in Sabondi, we get Corazone's fruit in the flashback of Law in Dressrosa.
Yep.
Yeah.
And little do we even know until now Corazone's fruit is really a hard counter to Apu's.
Yeah,
especially when
like that is a great spot. Like that's good shit.
I love that.
And especially when people asked, you know, like Corazone's fruit's mostly trash, right? Or it's only can be used for stealth, or you know, like people were kind of just hating on the fruit. And I mean, sure, criticisms are fair, kind of still.
Hold on, what'd you say? Could you say that? You were kind of a little bit quiet there. Could you say that again?
Okay. Yeah. So I was just saying that the criticisms are fair of Corazone's fruit not being that good.
Yeah.
But you know, at least
there's he's got hard counters out there. Yeah.
Logically though, like in the way he used it, the shit is deadly, right? Because you would think it's not that powerful, like, oh, well, you just shut the lights off. But if it's really pitch dark, like, you got to think there's not a lot of light pollution in the One Piece world. So if motherfuckers cut the lights off, it's pitch black. And your eyes take time to adjust. You can't see shit. If the hearing gets cut off, you fucked like a duck.
Yeah,
you're lost. In the way he used it,
that
shit is really OD. And you can really run through a room just knocking everybody the fuck out.
Hell yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So, but a couple of weeks ago, I asked a question, like, and it's kind of moot now, but that what effects would magnetism have on sound since they were related? And that was if sound was going to be, you know, just weaponized like vibrations or whatever, and that how, and obviously Oda doesn't go that far with these, which is great. That was the only thing that I could see that you can do to counter sound. And then what? Now you've just stepped into the realm of, okay, magnetism. We can't have Magneto. Like, we just can't have it.
Yeah, you can't have. I mean, you could have Magneto in here if you want to make him the final boss.
But yeah. So you asked a question earlier, Knox, about does he got hands? And I think it would be really tight to, if he could still use the sound in a way to like
amplify like his physical stats.
Yeah, bone conduction attacks. Because like if you think of like a tuning fork hitting you directly,
that's like Black Bolt in Marvel Comics. That's the way his shit works too. Yeah.
And if you're getting hit with a tuning fork, you can't hold your ears and block it, right? Like I don't. So
or like your eardrum is only taking the ambient sound from the air and putting it into your skull. If you touch sound to your skull, you will hear it. You know what I mean? Like it's not in air. It's not, doesn't need to be through the air. It just needs to be vibration. And so like he could touch you probably and have that sound transfer.
Honestly, I think that Apu, you want to know what, dude? This is brilliant because Apu has to know what the counter to his fruit is. And have a measure of like a close quarters application of this, and not just a sneak attack far away. You don't know what my ability is. I'm banking everything on that. So like now, once you figured out my ability, okay, now you think you can square up because you've countered me.
He's a long arm tribe member too, with some type of like long arm karate, right? Like he's always like moving like this, right? And it's like he's going to have range with the long arms. So like, you know, he's not going to have like obviously long range, but he's going to have more range than close fighters, and then he's going to be able to use haki, you know, to kind of negate damage probably too with it.
Sure.
You know?
I can see it.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Moving a little further into the chapter, we have this numbers member Hacha. And it's interesting when you see Hacha being introduced, you see this number 8 behind his name or whatever, you know, being introduced. And it's kind of interesting. Like, and I went and seen, you know, in the wiki, like the other numbers members, and they're all number based. So it's interesting. I wonder, like his like laugh is like ha cha cha cha, you know, like are they all gonna be like that?
No.
Yeah.
Since you looked that up, though.
Okay, we can go through all of them. No, we're not gonna.
But since you looked that up, is there only like 10 numbers? Now that I think about it, like
I didn't look
0
up
through 9. Okay, yeah.
I didn't look up that amount. I just wanted to like confirm, like, has there ever been any other ones that were number based and they're all number based? And there's been like a few. There's like 1 and 8, and I think there's like been a few that have been interesting.
Because we saw silhouettes of them too, and there was like 6 or 7 roughly that I can think of in my mind, which I mean obviously round to 10, but and because that's what I was gonna ask, like, single digit numbers only, right? Like that makes sense. Like
yeah, it'd be hard to do a laugh off of like Juichi, for 11 or
well,
something.
I think the reason 10 is kind of like subconsciously in your mind is because I think one of us brought up something we had seen on the timeline or something where kind of the going theory back then was that given the structure of the crew, there had to have been 10 numbers because then it's 1 through 10, Jack, Queen, King.
Yeah. We did, yeah.
Okay,
I
do like that. I do like that.
We did talk about that. That was, man, I don't
even remember that conversation.
I don't know.
Okay, good. I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know because I'm like, man, this motherfucker's got way better memories than me. I'm getting old out here. But yeah, so
the comedy of when they had their ears closed and killers telling ability, and all three of them go, "What?"
Yeah.
So good.
Oh man.
I do want to say something about who's who here.
Yeah.
I really liked how he had his own little squad.
Yes, they're all like kind of cat faces, cat masks or whatever. Anyway, so
who's
Queen,
Captain Kuro? No.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, it's just like a better cat squad or whatever than Captain Kuro.
Are we gonna get a reappearance of the Nyaban brothers?
That looks like Buddy in the back there on the left. No.
I really doubt it. I actually had this exact thought.
They're too trash.
I had this exact thought, and I went and looked at all the members of Captain Kuro's crew, and none of them look like this.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're all like cat-like, but none of them have this mask.
Okay.
So I would say that's just a no. But that I had that same thought.
Yeah.
So Queen this entire time has been like really yelling a lot, and like telling people what to do. And so who's who? He says, "I've heard enough out of Queen. He wants to kill someone," and then it shows a panel of Queen, and it goes back to who's who. Well, so do I.
Uh-oh.
Who's who wants to kill Queen particular?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I am ready for that fight.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense, I guess, given what you were just saying. Like, from what we've seen, a who's who is kind of quiet, reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Queen, like you said, is very flamboyant out there,
Vocal,
yelling all the time. You know, so yeah, makes sense that he would be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Well, and it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense to maybe kind of even the odds a smidge, even though towards the end of the chapter we even some odds, but we'll wait for that. But evening the odds in the sense of maybe there is a little infighting here. I mean, we've already kind of seen it, you know, and obviously you would think this is a meritocracy where they fight to, you know, rank up basically, you know, whoever's the strongest gets to take the spot basically. Yep. But to take that even another step further, I mean, Big Mom's family is coming. They're trying to get there, and Big Mom is like, "Port? What port?"
Yeah.
Drunk Kaido did not inform her of the actual way to get into the fucking country without having to go up fucking the waterfall. And she's probably gonna get pissed at her fucking kids and her. Well, not her, but because they didn't know at the time, but her kids got smacked down into the fucking water again, and they're all devil fruit eaters, most of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, but so he has people. They have beast pirates. I almost said Animal Kingdom.
Don't do that.
But anyway, beast pirates chilling at the port waiting for him. Like, you haven't shown up. So I don't know. Like, maybe I just feel like beast pirates are gonna have to go save him and dig him out of the water, and there might be some beef there too, which could add to some infighting. I don't know, maybe not. But the worst thing I saw on Twitter, I just gotta say it and get it over with, is Big Mom wants to mate with unique people for offspring and is staring at Chopper out the window. Oh God. I know.
No.
I know. That's not.
No.
I
will say though that is what I really wanted to bring up because I'm looking at that panel right now. And
it's
hilarious.
Initially, I thought that she is really about to activate because we got the dialogue from her before when she regained her memory. She remembers all of what happened, how they took advantage of her, how they rode on her back to Udon and shit, how they used her as basically a taxi service.
Yeah.
And she was like, "I'm about to fucking skewer these motherfuckers."
Yeah, she's about to.
And so initially I thought she was like, "Okay, here's this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm about to activate." But now I'm looking at the panel and I'm just thinking about how like timing of things usually goes in manga. I imagine a lot of this is happening probably at the same time as some of the previous events that we've seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's still changing into her kimono and she's naked right now. She's not about to activate. She's about to freak out because she's naked and slam the door shut and not do anything about it.
Nah, hell no. She'll chase him naked if she's that mad at him.
Please don't, Oda. I don't need all that in my life, Oda. Please don't do that.
But we're not going to see Big Mom's naked body.
I mean,
but
at the same time, like maybe she's like just like got like a bra and panties on instead of a full kimono.
The silhouette does not look like there's like the bulging of clothing on her body.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think she's probably naked right now.
I don't think
she's about to, and just judging by the look on her face, the blank look on her face in that panel, she's about to be like.
I don't think she has to be completely naked just because we don't see all the clothes that she should be wearing.
Or
so
just
like,
in a,
like I don't think
she's changing into a kimono
in a scandalous, position that she wouldn't want to be seen by Chopper. Type shit.
Yeah, I feel like the big mom we know, if she really is mad, she's gonna be like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, for the sake of like shonen comedy. Oh no, I'm naked.
And Oda
like,
comedy.
And Oda comedy like that. I mean, like it could go either way, but like I feel like
let's admit that this page, this Chopper and Big Mom, like it's hilarious.
Yes, bro.
Oh hell yeah,
fire humor. I'm just like, oh my god.
And it's just like the
like,
little
like cute tank, but that's fucking fire.
The little cute tank.
Just
like,
the fact that everybody's like, oh shit, jump in the water, but he's like left in the tank, and he's just like,
So I'm glad you say that because he's not the only one there. Carrot, Nami, and Usopp are all in that tank with him. They're down below, and so Usopp is a liar, and Big Mom is easily lied to. So maybe Usopp comes out and golden tongues his way out of this shit. I don't know, like we'll see. I mean, that you got to give Usopp those.
I'm
moments.
the champion of Elbef.
Yeah,
you don't want to mess with me.
He better not say that.
He better not say that.
He better not say that. Shit.
Or maybe he.
Don't make me call my Elbaf dudes.
Maybe he fucking. I don't even want to say this because you guys are going to be so opposed to it.
All right, well, whatever.
Maybe he does lie about being the leader of the Giants, and he has the Giants behind him. He says, "Yo, you help us out, I'm gonna hook you up with this giant plug." And he's the catalyst to which Big Mom gets connected with the Giants again, and she becomes an ally.
You might be onto something with that.
I really like that actually.
I don't. Yeah, it's and it makes a lot of sense because Elbaf has got to be one of the next like 2 arcs, right?
Yeah,
and I'm a huge proponent of the theory that every single lie Usopp tells will become true at some point in the story. Yeah. And so I actually really like that theory.
Yeah,
that's cool.
No,
that's
I
really
love
cool.
it. I love it. I'm glad you said that.
I'm all for it.
Damn, I thought y'all were gonna be like,
no, I am totally for it actually.
I'm gonna take about 5% credit. I brought up Usopp first. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's legit.
And then I gotta take some credit too because I said he's gonna lie about Elbif.
Yeah, that was a little gang.
This is a team theory.
You heard it here first on Project
gang.
Manga. We had a little group, theory. We all came up with it together.
I just want him to fucking like get into a fist fight one time and be like, "This is Dory, this is Brogy, what's cracking?"
Yes,
and just knock a dude out. Yeah,
fucking Anchorman. Dude.
Yeah.
So how about like Sanji going into the pleasure hall? I don't know.
Yeah, we got.
I'm not a huge Sanji humor fan, but I'm sure it was funny.
I'm not a huge Sanji humor fan either, but like it's cool to just like see him like being his character. A lot of people are like I've seen online that are like mad about this, and it's like, okay, so you're mad about a character being a character. Sure, I'm sure you want like less gags in this situation because you've been waiting for so long to get to like intense conflicts because this arc is being hyped up so much. But like you're week to week, this is just shit you got to fucking deal with. If you binge this shit, you would see this and go on to the next 15 chapters and get to some crazy fights, and you wouldn't even fucking care. So relax, dude. It's Sanji. He's gonna be fucking Sanji. Quit fucking reading One Piece so that you can get Sanji feats and argue with them. That's what I said last week. It's like that's why people are mad that Sanji's doing this and not beating somebody's ass. His time will fucking come. Calm the fuck down.
I mean,
see, I'm a Sanji stan, and like. This kind of shit, like the really like where you can tell he's really like leaning really heavily into like the lecherous kind of
it's too far. He's going too far. Maybe.
I enjoy the Sanji humor where he's like, the Nami Swan, Robi Swan, and
definitely,
and like Dressrosa when he's got the fucking beard on and he's acting like super fucking serious and he's like, Nami Swan, Robi Swan, like I'm about to leave y'all. I'm sorry, I can't do it. She got me by the nuts. And it's like that kind of Sanji humor. I fucking love.
I fuck with that.
But like when it just seems like Oda like is just leaning super heavily into like the lecherous aspect of it, and I'm not a big fan of that. But at the end of the day, it's Sanji.
Sanji walking around with the gloom. It dawned on me that confirms he saw Big Mom naked, right?
Oh my god.
Facts! Yo! Facts! Yo! I did not even think
and that's the type of punishment Sanji deserves, correct?
Yeah. Wow. Bravo.
That's facts.
Bravo.
That is facts. Dude, I did not even think of that. That is perfect. He runs in there.
Please tweet that. Please tweet that. Dude, please tweet that. Please tweet that.
It's a lot of gloom there. Yes, wow. I do. I will.
You gotta tweet that, bro.
Wow. I will.
Hey, and make sure you plug me for saying that she was naked in the first place.
No.
Say my man Sanji seen her ass.
So let's get to the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
Because this end of the chapter is fire.
It's a very big
deal. Like I said earlier,
a lot to talk about with it.
Yeah.
Fukushio Marco.
Weren't you? No. Don't say his name like that because I'm pretty sure you were a part of the crew that says he's not coming back this arc, weren't you?
No.
All those episodes ago.
You're not about to play me right now. You're not about to play me right now.
That's just what I remember.
You're not about to play me right now.
I believe
you're not about to play me right now.
No.
You're not about to play me right now.
No, you. You played yourself. Congratulations.
You broke his whole internet. How dare you?
The receipts are there, bro. No, I was a proponent of Marco I was one of the people that said like, no, fuck that shit. Like, yeah, there is meaning in him saying like, I gotta protect Pops' land, but like he gonna ride for the crew.
Okay,
he will show up.
And
I was like, he's definitely gonna show up
because of how much you're turning
and
up.
Neko Mamushi.
Because of how much you're turning up. I believe you. Yeah. If you really did say that, you'd probably try to find a way to justify it right now, like you did with Jinbei. But I think maybe it was because of the whole Jinbei thing that I just like lumped you in with everyone who
it was about Jinbei.
Not coming back. But that was really funny. That was really.
So I love this quote from Marco.
Yeah, dude,
the next time y'all show up, the times may have moved on a bit more than before.
I do love that too.
Yeah.
Holy shit! What is he thinking is gonna happen here?
Yes.
He's thinking your mom is about to get. It's curtains. Your mom's dead. Kaido's dead. Well, Big Mom might be dead.
It might be even more to. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's saying that Big Mom or Kaido will be dead the next time they come up. But just
that's just gonna happen.
That shit's gonna happen, and that even kind of foreshadowing a little further to just like the events of this thing when this is finished. Like, I mean, times are different no matter what. And even though,
what. And this could have a lot to do with like because Marco's not going to come back here in this way without a plan, right? Like we've got Marco D Scholar with these glasses.
Yeah.
So he's looking a little bit into the future.
Dr. Marco
here. We got Dr. Marco, on going on here. So I mean,
would you say though that like the Big Mom crew is out of the battle for the rest of the arc?
No.
Isn't he saying that? He's saying the next time y'all come back up here, shit's gonna have changed.
Well, sure.
Because it takes time to progress this waterfall and to get the people out of the water.
That's the huge part. Is they're all devil fruit users, most of them, and they need to be washed ashore. Do we really know? Like Big Mom was washed ashore, like randomly?
Well, see, another thing is like everybody that's fell in the water has just washed up on shore. So it's like,
have they all?
Whatever.
But the last time, like, I guess I have to go back and read it. But the last time King kicked them off, that was a bit ago. You know what I mean?
Like, that's at the beginning of the fucking arc, almost.
Yeah. So it took that long to get back up. So like, King has been chilling in Onigashima for a long time. It might take a long time to get back up here, and so they might not show up for the entire rest of the arc.
Yeah, that's a good
He basically
point.
said that. He basically said by the time you get back, things changed.
If that's the case, like, please, Oda, for the love of God, just like at the very least, have like Smoothie. Please just let her have jumped off the ship and
So we
like
just
grappled
get
onto a
Smoothie?
rock.
You need them
or something.
thighs.
Like,
You need them thighs in here that
she's
badly.
gonna get in the fray because like
It feels like she
wanna
didn't get
see
enough
her
time.
Yeah,
prove
she didn't
why
get
she
enough
has her position other than some
Yeah.
Getsuga 10 shows that never landed, bro. Like, come on.
I mean,
Come on.
some of them have to have. I mean,
I'm not
most of them
like
have
one
to
of
have
these
Geppo,
hype
right?
dudes
Yeah.
on Twitter who says like Smoothie's trash because she's never done shit. I recognize she's a sweet commander. She's probably got a reason for
I
it.
don't think
But I'd like to see her do some shit
I feel you.
Oh,
and like
I
actually
feel you.
have a nice little exchange with somebody.
I'm rolling.
I don't know.
I'm rolling with that.
I think the
Man.
the quintuplets
Just
or whatever had Geppo, but I don't
pains me.
think like a lot of them have Geppo, like right?
Doesn't
Yeah.
everyone have Geppo? Is that so hard of a
No.
technique?
Bro,
I mean,
Smoothie busts out the
it's
Geppo. That
something.
would be
It's
so
something
hype,
you
bro.
probably have to be taught.
Zoro
And, I mean,
doesn't
it's-
have
Smoothie
if
has
you're-
got the thighs
if
that
you're-
she got Geppo.
Right, but I mean, like,
She's the long leg tribe. Yeah.
you just,
Oh,
you-
is that what
you
she
just,
is?
You,
Okay.
do you just get Geppo for free because you got big legs? I mean, like, I feel like Geppo specifically is like a technique.
She was born with Geppo.
But yeah, like, if you're outside of that school, like, how could you learn it? You know what I mean? Like,
Eagle's dying over here.
I was coughing. I had to mute my shit.
oh god.
Oh
911
boy.
on him.
Wow.
All right, so I have a small theory to
Yeah,
say.
let's go.
I have a small theory to say. So you got up the waterfall. You got
Yeah.
Nekomamushi on this boat.
And
Has
Izo.
an Izo with this boat with an elephant on the head or whatever. I have said at least one time, I'm pretty sure 2 times, that the current force in Onigashima on the good side is 5,400 people, and they need 200 more people to make 5,600.
Oh,
I have said this
shit.
more than one time.
Oh, definitely.
This boat literally has 200 people on it. I guarantee you,
Yo.
200 minks are on this boat right now.
Oh no.
Now that's my
Bro.
small theory. You can talk
Well,
about that.
this-
I have a big theory after this.
So,
So
I have another theory after this.
I have a bigger theory.
Oh my
So
god.
so you don't think there's more humans on here?
Well, the boat has an elephant head.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
isn't Izo on this boat with
Yeah,
him?
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's
Izo
Izo.
can be
It's
the
Izo
outlier
and
there.
199 minks. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Yeah,
Exact
yeah.
No,
numbers?
no,
here?
no, 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 no,
What
no, no. I'm
about
saying
the
Diamond
rest of the
Jozu
remnants
and
of-
Flower Vista.
Oh, you're wondering if it's
Yeah,
a Whitebeard.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I guess is it 200 minks? Maybe. Is it 200
Okay.
people? Definitely.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yo, who me?
Yeah.
Why?
What?
Because you're like,
Because I just got my mind blown by Diamond Josie and Floral playing Vista. I wasn't ready to hear that, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah. There's
well, a
you
lot
would
of people
think-
That's a
think,
good point.
You know, a good
I just
portion
think
of
the
Whitebeard
commanders,
pirates
right?
are
The
dead.
nine,
I
whatever,
didn't
remaining
even-
commanders.
That's
Yeah.
blowing my mind right
Yeah,
now.
plus
I-
mix. Yeah,
Plus
yeah.
Minx.
Sure,
Yeah, dude.
sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? It could go
let's
either way.
go.
But you have to show Izo here because Izo is by far
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
important of
Well,
the
one, Izo has
Whitebeard.
meaning to
Yes.
Kiki.
Yeah, he's from Wano. Yeah,
Right,
he's from
yeah.
Wano.
from the whole sorry.
From
So-
Wano. Yeah.
So can I blow your all fucking minds right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I just want to throw out here that this theory that I have is not definitive. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's a little out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I need to say it because the events in this chapter, it next chapter we may get some information that will make my theory too obvious. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I need to say it now. So let's start with Zoro here, right?
Oh,
Not even
yeah,
in this
you got
chapter,
my
but like
attention.
let's start with Zoro. Okay, so can we assume that Zoro is from Wano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right. I think we can all
Or
assume
his
that.
family
I'm
originally,
saying
at least.
Shimosuke.
Yeah.
Right.
We've been saying Shimosuke for a while.
Yeah,
a lot of people
Shimosuke.
have. A lot of people have,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so if anyone listening like doesn't think Zoro's from Wano, just ignore this theory. You know what I mean? Like it is very highly predicated on Zoro being from Wano. Okay. So whoever Zoro's parents are, at least one of them, has to be from Wano, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what it means. But we know because of the huge isolationism of Wano that barely anyone has actually left Wano. barely any people from Wano have left Wano. You know what I mean? Like we basically know that, inferring from the story so far.
Yeah.
So, based on this chapter, and I've said this before actually in chats before, but this is the first time I'm saying this publicly. So, Izo is Zoro's father. Let me lay it down. Let me throw it down for you here, okay, right? Let's start here. 1, Izo is old enough to be Zoro's father.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Izo's
2,
like 39, something like that.
Yeah, no, he's like 50. I don't know. He's like between 40 and 50. I don't know. He's old. Okay. He's old enough to be Zoro. He's old enough to be Zoro's father. I don't know his exact age. But 2, he's left the country. He's from Wano and he's left the country before, right? Not many people from Wano have left the country. 3, let's go with for a very One Piece style argument for this connection between Izo and Zoro. They both have Zo in the name. Okay. Izo, Zoro. Okay. Yeah. Izo is the 16th division captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. Izo. E, you take away the E from the Zo. E, you could say Ichi, 1. Zoro, take away the Zo, you got Roku, 6. 1 from Izo, 6 from Zoro, 16. The 16th division captain.
Wait.
And I guarantee you, if you go back, I'm going to pull up a picture right now and show it for the YouTubers. If you go back and look at pictures of Izo, Izo looks a lot like Zoro. Kind of got that frowny face, kind of got this facial structure, and the hairline, very similar. I, again, want to stress that this is a very, out there theory.
Yeah,
it's not supported by a lot to make you people like ridiculously confident in it.
Right.
But these are the kind of theories that I fucking love the most, bro. Because if this shit ends up being the thing, then like all the points you made right now are going to make total sense. Because it's
exactly
fucking One Piece.
Exactly.
And oh my god, I think I would shit my fucking pants, bro.
So what are the weaknesses of this theory? Green hair. Izo has black hair. Zoro has green hair. Okay, Zoro's mother could have green hair.
Yeah.
The name Roronoa. That's not Izo's name. Could be the mother's name, like Portgas D. Ace. Yeah. Ace took his mother's name. Or the name could be completely made up. And I think the biggest weakness of the theory is that, like, would it actually be that impactful if we were told that Izo was Zoro's father, right? I don't know, like, we don't really know much about Izo, but Izo is back now. Izo is literally at the end of this chapter. We might get a lot of backstory about Izo. We might have Izo talking about things or mentioning things about Zoro.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna throw out, I just wanted to throw it out here now that Izo's back, that I need to say this now before it is too obvious.
And I think one more weakness to this theory that I just thought about would be like the time of conception.
I got one too, I guess.
Yeah, say it.
The time of conception, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, when does Izo have the time? There's crazy One Piece people that go out there and like fit the timeline to everything. You know what I mean? Like, does Izo's timeline, according to like how we understand it right now, allow him to have had this baby? You know what I mean?
If Gold Roger can have a baby, I'm pretty sure anyone can have a baby.
That's right. But I'm just saying, like, not necessarily that the timeline already tells us if this is true or not, but just like the more information we get, whether it's confirmed or not. I mean, if it is confirmed, obviously the information that we have on Izo and his, life on this timeline is going to allow a point for him to go conceive this baby. You know what I mean? And it'll fit on that timeline. But at the same time, it's like we could get information later when we get more information on Izo and more information on Zoro, to where, okay, there was never a point in time where Izo could have conceived this baby, given all of the things we know about him in his journey.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think we know enough about Izo to even know that, but it's... Yeah.
That was just something that I just thought about.
Yeah. Kiko.
It doesn't sit well with me that the first mate of the Pirate King's dad is only the 16th division captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. I mean, that's very simple. Like, it's just
first mate of the Pirate. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's too big of a position. He's Rayleigh. Yeah, he's better than Rayleigh.
Yeah, and that's a very Kiko refute that I agree with there. Yeah, because like now that you say that, I'm like, okay, of course that's where your mind goes, is like, okay, what's this dude's dad's relevance in relation to what Zoro's relevance is.
But no, to be fair though, and to be fair, and to even give a devil's advocate position to my own critique, there is that who the fuck is Shimotsuki? Like, why wouldn't we have known about him if that's his dad? Or
there you go.
Has Wano Samurai really been that impressive other than Odin? Like,
right.
Yeah, Shutenmaru, Burger Fats.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he was fighting. He was
the Scabbards in general are cold.
Yeah. They are, but they're not like fucking. And the Scabbards, none of the Scabbards are Zoro's dad, right? Like, I mean, that's unlikely. But
Burger Fat's got green hair.
I feel like if you do bring up that someone of the Straw Hats has a parent, it pretty much has to be a named parent that is relevant to the story in some way. It doesn't have to be like a major character like, okay, Luffy's dad is Dragon. Okay, oh, that's pretty fucking crazy or whatever. Or like Ace's dad is Gold Roger. Oh my god, it's fucking, whoa, it's a big. They don't all have to be that big, Dragon. But they all have to be like named. You know what I mean? They all have to be like at least somewhat important. Yeah. Otherwise, why would you even bring that up?
Yeah.
Well, and only Zoro's is because he's the only one. Well, and other than Sanji, because Zoro and Sanji didn't have backstories when they got introduced like everybody else did, right? Everybody else gets their backstory right as they join the crew, and those are the only two that really did. I mean, they got a backstory, but not like.
Oh, we don't know barely anyone's parents. Brooke's parents, Frankie's parents, Nami's parents, Zoro's parents.
I guess Nami's parents is, Bellmare, but
no, that's not her. It's not her mom. It's her adopted mother.
I know.
Yeah, I know you know that. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like. Yeah, are we going to get Nami's actual parents, Frankie's actual parents, Brooke's?
We don't need them, but we do need Zoro connected to Wano more explicitly because we know he's from Wano. Yes, and this is the time to do it.
I agree fully with that point. Yeah, and Izo.
So as I said,
I would like to think if he was like the 5th ranked fucking
far out
commander. I'd be like, all right, okay, I can get.
They don't have to be ranked. They don't have to be ranked. You know, the division captains. Are they ranked?
I would like to think that.
Yeah, they're definitely ranked. Yeah, okay. I mean, Marco's clearly the first mate, so he's the 1st division captain. Ace is Gold Roger's son, so he's 2.
Then you have Jozu,
Diamond Jozu's 3. Flower Vista is 4. Like they're definitely ranked. You know.
I would like to think that. That Nami's true parents and homeland do hold some significance within the story.
I hope so too.
And I would like to ask the question: how old was Bellmare at the time when she died? Was she was only 20 something?
Probably, that's a great question for the like One Piece drinking game trivia panel.
If anybody knows that answer in the chat or anything, let me know because
please tell us. I don't know.
What if?
Take a shot.
We don't know.
What if, given what I just said about Nami's true parents and homeland holding some significance, given her ability to really innately sense the weather and what the fuck's going on?
Sure.
What if Bellmare is old enough for this, given if she is old enough, what if Bellmare was a serving Marine and took part as a small-time Marine in the God Valley incident? And Nami is an orphan from God Valley.
But God Valley incident is way long ago, isn't it? Like
20 years ago, something like that. That's why I'm saying if she's old enough, which I don't know if she would be given.
But is Nami?
Wouldn't Nami have to? Shouldn't we be asking if Nami's old enough for that?
Nami's like around 20.
And I thought God incident was more than
she's
that.
Around Luffy's age.
I thought
19, 20 years old.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, I thought God incident.
Which God Valley I think was before. I don't know if the timeline lines up. It was just something interesting that I thought of just now.
Isn't that
38
Roger
years ago?
And
God Valley.
38. That's
38.
Where Roger and
God
almost
double.
Yeah. But I just kind of, I don't know. We could still talk about that theory if you want, but for the most part, I was just wanting to just focus on that. Izo and Kiku are definitely going to have huge moments. It's going to be more impactful for Izo's side because he's not seen her for 30 years, whereas she hasn't seen him for 10 years. Because that's what I'm saying. That's why I think he's about 40-ish. Because I feel like
40 is fine. 40 is young
exactly.
enough, old enough to have Zoro.
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't saying that wasn't. Yeah, definitely. But because he was 10 when he left to go on Whitebeard's ship, and then whatever, the time passes and then Kiku goes through the thing. But yeah, whatever.
Sure.
So I just Izo to me feels like he may just be. I don't want to say that he dies for Kiku, but I just feel like he's maybe I just feel like that's more focused where Izo is in my mind is going to be, you know, Kiku things and just the fact that the scabbards are all going to have to be in big bad fights, right? And you know, if Izo has to, I feel like they're going to be rolling together and fighting together after they, you know, unite and whatever. So yeah,
I'm certainly ready to see more of Izo.
Yes.
Generally.
Me too.
Yeah.
Shit,
I'm happy. I'm really hoping the commanders are on this bitch. Though.
Yes, dude.
That'd be so sick. I didn't even think about more than one commander.
I didn't even think about
besides
that
Marco
at all,
and
bro.
Izo.
Like, I'm so ready for that.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be super sick. But yeah, that's really all I got.
Please, but can you do me a favor though, Kiko? Can you please tweet the Sanji Big Mom joke? And can you please tweet the Apu, like, centralized vibrational, like, combat tactic? Now that his devil fruit has been countered.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see how, like, people just like regularly on the internet who like might not follow our show perceive that idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I will get that out there.
Okay.
Well, shit, yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh yeah,
we did it.
All right, then this'll that should be it, and that'll do it for another episode of the Project Manga podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, be sure to slap a like on this video if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well and hit that noti bell, especially if you're new to the show, and we'll continue to bring fire content to you on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Also, make sure you hit that comment section. Let us know what you thought of this week in Shonen Jump, or just whatever thoughts you had in general. And visit that description box where you can find the link tree. And if you visit that, you can find the links to any and all online communities we have, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to donate to the podcast if you would be so inclined. And with all those words said, this will be another fantastic episode of the Project Manga podcast. Wrapping up, I'm your host, Eagle.
It's your boy Kiko.